attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
To Dennis, you know that song, I think that song was one of the, I stand to be correct, is one of the only songs where Dennis Brown did ever go up on the Billboard chart. Somebody can tell me if not no go so still, but him that tune go up on the Billboard chart. I don't think he would have anymore. I remember when we just started at New York, it used to blaze up New York. Love has found its way in our hearts today. Sweet, sweet song. You know, it's a Dennis Brown birthday gone, but we a deleted birthday we are work with tonight. So in between the things them what we're going to do and thing, appear Dennis Brown song we're going to play. So a Dennis Brown, straight up. Brown celebrating birthday upon the 1st of February. You know, them guys have a big concert for him as usual. It gone up on the pier the first time it used to keep up on North Street and Orange Street. That's a big yard vibe, but now they move it because of the space. Right on the pier, Victoria Pier, them used to call it. I don't know, them still call it Victoria Pier, but them changed Victoria Park to William Grant Park. So them supposed to change the name of Victoria Pier to something else. I never hear about the name, so we still call it Victoria Pier. You know, last year around them time, yeah. Well, last year around them time, a little later than them time, yeah. We did tell you about something where they are going in Florida, where them let go. So mosquito, them what them do is them a try alleviate why man and them things them. Them a try alleviate one problem and cause the next problem by genetically modifying some mosquito. That's when the mosquito them now go amongst the other mosquito them, when them have sex with them good are dead. Them are go dead. So it will lessen the possibilities of what them call chick V and all sorts of things where them say mosquito have. But the problem with it is that them create this mosquito, and this mosquito now create a next problem now. And it get let go in a different countries, especially South and Central America, and now it reaching the Caribbean, and it creating havoc. But we could play a clip here where we play a while back here and see where I go. Make a play it.
Millions of genetically modified mosquitoes could be released in Florida, basically to stop two very painful viral diseases. So I'm going to do a little reading here because I want to get the science right. Because as I said, I got two bright people with me. The dengue, am I right? Dengue and the chikungunya.
Yes, chikungunya.
Chikungunya viral diseases. Okay, pretty good so far. Are growing threats in the U.S. and with global warming, with climate change, spreading tropical diseases farther from the equator, storm winds, cargo ships, and humans carry these viruses to southern cities in the U.S. like the Florida Keys. So there's been an explosion of this in Florida. Right now, there are no vaccines or cures for either of these two diseases, and many more people now are being basically are afraid of being bitten by a GMO organism, because then that could start a whole other set of problems. Anyway, so more than 130,000 people have signed a Change.org petition trying to stop these GMO mosquitoes from being released. Yeah? We're good? Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Anyway, the head of the Florida Medical Entomology Laboratory had this to say. I think the science is fine. They definitely can kill mosquitoes, but the GMO issue still sticks as something of a thorny issue for the general public. I'm on their side and their consequences are highly unlikely, but to say there's no genetically modified DNA that might get into a human, that's kind of a gray matter.
Okay, matter.
So as you can tell by my lead into this, this is not my department. So Kara, can you clean up this a little bit? Because there's a couple issues here. There's general fear of diseases. There's GMO stuff.
Yeah, there's fear of disease. There's fear of genetically modified organisms. And I think that the link between the two we need to make sure is clear. So the reason that these GM mosquitoes that have been developed in a UK lab and have been successfully deployed, I think, in Brazil and I think in one other area in South America or Central America, and actually did reduce the population. The way it works is that these genetically modified mosquitoes have been modified to contain some sort of protein, some sort of coding region in their DNA that allows them to successfully mate with disease-carrying mosquitoes or just any mosquitoes of the species that they're trying to target and produce offspring that's not viable. So basically it kills off the population because these modified mosquitoes can't persist. So the idea is we can't kill billions of mosquitoes, right? But what we can do is release mosquitoes that through reproduction will end up dramatically reducing the population of disease-carrying mosquitoes. So this to me is a question of, again, kind of first world privilege. We've talked about GMOs a lot before, and I obviously have been very kind of outspoken about being pro-GMO.
Yeah.
And one example that I would use is that there was a rice that was developed called golden rice. And golden rice was developed in an effort to provide nutrition that wasn't present in certain parts of the world. And Greenpeace, because of their fear of GM technology, successfully stopped golden rice from being delivered. And it has been estimated that literally millions, multiple millions of people lives could have been saved if golden rice had been released. And I worry that this is the same kind of a situation where, because people don't understand the science, they're willing to cock block something that could prevent a lot of people from suffering really debilitating illnesses.
Right. Okay. So you did a much better job of cleaning that up than the way I presented it. So there's sort of two things happening here. One, the GMOs in general, people fear sort of irrationally. Almost everything we eat is genetically modified, right? Our bananas aren't there no such thing as regular bananas anymore?
70 and 90% of the foods on your grocery store shelves, if you're not shopping at a place that specifically caters towards that, has some ingredient that's genetically modified.
And that doesn't mean that it's killing you or doing anything bad.
There's literally no evidence out there at all that it has any negative effects on health or human safety. The only concerns that the only legitimate concerns about GM technology are crop concerns. They're concerns about spreading crops and taking over other fields. And, when you develop something that's a crop that's drought resistant and that, is really hardy, yes, it might not die if and when you try to kill it.
Right. So, okay. So then that gets me to my next question, which is I think most people have this conflation between GMOs and Monsanto. And Monsanto has strange business practices related to the crops and what people can use season after season and things. So I'm not even asking you a question there, but I feel like you guys
No. I mean, I feel like it's very necessary to parse those two out. I think that, like, in the hands of a company like Monsanto that seeks only a profit motive, I mean, it's dangerous. But I love the golden rice analogy. There's another really recent one that I love. So in Uganda, children are deficient in vitamin A, and it's got a real, stunting problem with the growth of children. A lot of them are, experience vision problems because they're so deficient in vitamin A. And so you mentioned bananas. They're now trying to, or they're able to actually modify bananas so they're a lot higher in vitamin A to prevent these sorts of, this malnourishment in Uganda. And it's amazing. And I think that the minute we start vilifying, in the broad sense, genetically modifying organisms, I think it's super dangerous.
Right.
And going back to mosquitoes, like, the males that they're talking about modifying aren't even the ones that bite, right? Yeah,
the modified mosquitoes are the non-biting mosquitoes. They're just worried that a handful of females might make it into the crop and that a handful of those female mosquitoes might bite you. But why do I give a shit if a genetically modified mosquito bites me that maybe contains like a handful of proteins that prevent it from being able to make viable offspring? I would be much more concerned about getting bitten by a mosquito carrying chikungunya.
Right. Well, you said that well, with total confidence too. So try to help me understand this. So the people that don't like GMOs, in this case, what they would argue, I guess, is that we're going to create a super strain of mosquitoes that eventually we won't be able to control.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what their argument would be.
I don't think that they can articulate what they're afraid would happen. I don't think that there is a valid scientific argument for what would happen. I think it is that kind of, well, we don't know because we haven't tested it and it could have some sort of runaway consequence that we can't foresee in the future. And get that.
But isn't that with all science?
Yes,
isn't that you
like
could
we need to use caution when we think about that. And yes, you can look historically at drugs that were developed that people took that then caused really big problems and had to be taken off the market because we didn't do enough testing. I totally understand that concern, but at the same time, would you throw the baby out with the bathwater?
No.
Would you never take another pill again?
Right, and that's the irony of these people that believe in science half the time and then don't believe.
All right, so that was a clip with some what them call pro-GMO radio television personalities. I talk about the pros, where them think is the pros and cons of genetically modified mosquitoes. These genetically modified mosquitoes, the intention, according to what them say, was to get rid of or eliminate or make the population of the Aedes aegypti mosquito lessen. It was supposed to lessen because this mosquito is what them say called the chikungunya and the dengue. Now, why I play that as a what you call pro-GMO argument? Because what happens is that every time man try to rectify one thing, him create other things that sometimes seem to be more disastrous than the first thing we might try to prevent in the first place. And we have a lot of examples in our history where sure we say, man try to do that and that happen. You know, I mean, it's really weird. The possibilities when man create for destroy things that is affecting him, and the possibilities when him create that this thing that him supposed to be destroying, the thing that him create to destroy become a monster to him. Monster. And sometimes the intention is deliberate too. Sometimes the intention is very deliberate because we know that them actually create things to destroy sometimes. And we're going to mention again and again and again the Tuskegee experiment. The Tuskegee experiment was an experiment where them take 300 black men and inject them with syphilis to see what would happen. And for years, them had do this experiment. And nobody never know. And there's a woman, a nurse, ball out, that even when Bill Clinton was president, he apologized for that Tuskegee experiment that was done. But nobody would have think, say, a government would have exposed them citizen to such a devastating experiment. And we know of a next experiment where them inject rat with certain virus and let it go into certain black communities to see the effect of that virus. When the rat maybe go by your food or bite a little you to see the result of that that virus that they put on the rat, or what the effect it would have on black youth, black people. So one would ask the question, why would our people do that against them people? Then there is the smallpox that they put in blankets. I don't move to them things, I know. Them things is historical. Them put smallpox in the blanket and distributed to the Native Americans. One would ask the question, why would a group of people do that to a next group of people? But then it's a history. It's a historical thing where you need to experiment on certain things. So we come now to this mosquito where them trying to make all of the mosquito them big gay, you know. That is really where them are trying to do. Them want pure Male mosquito. All right, we can come forward.
This is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
The JLP ramps up the message of prosperity in a tour of St. Bess in Manchester, Thursday starting at 9. Andrew Holness leads the tour in St. Bess. Audley Shaw leads as a man a yard in Manchester. Labour Party River come down from bank to bank at the mass rally in Junction St. Bess at 6 p.m. And you are invited. Here party leader Andrew Holness, Audley Shaw, Roddy Spencer, St. Aubin Bartlett, Omar Freight, Hydron McCulsky, J.C. Hutchinson, Lloyd Green, Frank Wheat and other stalwarts. The JLP Tour, St. Bess and Manchester on Thursday, followed by mass rally in Junction at 6. See you there!
That was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
What are you really doing when you take a robot? You may be letting a stranger into your home. It could cost you an arm and a leg, or even your life. If you are injured in a robot, there is no insurance coverage. And would you leave your child with a stranger? No, you wouldn't put them in danger. Don't put yourself or your family in danger. Choose right. Choose life. The Transport Authority. Regulating with vision.
Come out and celebrate the life and legacy of the reggae legend Robert Nesta Marley at the first annual One Love Music Festival with performances from Akon, Kimani Marley, Morgan Heritage, Tessa and Chin, Nadine Sutherland, Tanta Metro and Devante, me, your girl CK, Sabrina Deepa, Cranium, Deep Burns, Devin the Doctor, and many more on February 5th at Rose Hall, Montego Bay. Special thanks to Top Gun, Rose Hall Developments, Red Strap, CPJ, Sandoz, Ibero Star, Pepsi, King, Digicel, Fontana Pharmacy, Ocean Star, Spice World Supermarket. Must be 18 and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Daddy's the first of the month. I want $100 credit so I can get bonus data.
What you mean, Picnic? It's not just bonus call credit alone you can get.
No, Daddy. You can get $200 digital bonus credit for calls and data. Pass your phone, let me show you.
Oh.
Just dial *147 $ and select claim my bonus. Then choose $100 data credit or bonus credit. Finally, press 1 and wait for your confirmation text. Remember to redeem both bonuses.
Text 12 to 137 free for more info. Conditions apply. Digicel.
Get up, stand up, and join Red Stripe as we celebrate the life of the king of reggae, the legendary Bob Marley on his 71st birthday. Salute the general on his earth strong and get your Gang 71 limited edition Red Stripe Lemon Paradise beer. One love, one beer, Red Stripe. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
Hello, Christiana, Geisel, Port Antonio, and Kingston. It's your time for the big play Border Patrol with Andrea Del Zita right. Yo, the player mad. Border Patrol will be in Christiana on Ash Wednesday, February 10th, and Saturday, February 13th at Geisel High School. And Valentine's Day, February 14th, it's Port Antonio High School. Mr. Kingston, see Border Patrol February 26th at Stephanie Hall. Their technical standby. Call Border Patrol 399-8081.
The Guardian Life Flexi Term gives you the freedom of choosing your own coverage just for the time you need it. Premium payments are affordable and flexible while providing protection for all your life insurance needs. And for something extra special, there's the Guardian Flexi Term Special with premium payback and a premium holiday for those unexpected moments in life when you need a break. Talk with a Guardian advisor today. Guardian Life. Live secure. Live easy.
See David Thomas Bangarang.
Saturday, February 6th, Jockey Factory, Lucy. Sunday, February 7th, Old Police Station, Maypen. Ash Wednesday, February 10th, Otrias High School. Saturday, February 13th, Hotel Kaminga Savlamam. And Sunday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, Montego Bay Community College.
Bangarang!
The following is a message from Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller.
My fellow Jamaicans, your government will continue to create the conditions for economic growth and job creation. We are working with all stakeholders to overcome the challenges that have beset the nation's health sector. The security of the nation and protection from criminals will also receive renewed focus this year. We are preparing to support our amazing athletes in the Rio Olympics later this year. My government and I will never stop believing in the great potential of our Jamaican people. May 2016 see your dreams come true. May you shine as never before, believe as never before, and soar as never before.
That was a message from Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller.
Okay, cutting edge. So, we're talking about this genetically modified mosquito. You know, say, Brazil have the most black people, African people outside of Africa than any other country in the world. There are more black people in Brazil, and these Africans build up a large. It's like a 50-50 in a Brazil, but the Olympics supposed to keep in Brazil. Now the other day we hear the ministry, including the Prime Minister, come out and say we should be careful of how we're traveling to Africa because of the Ebola. It get everybody giddy. Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia. Be careful of how you go. But they never say, be careful of how you go to Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea. Them say, be careful of how you go to Africa. Africa is a continent. South America is a continent. Not South America is a continent. A whole heap of different country in South America, including Brazil. Now, I want to know if now that them say the Zika is an epidemic at highest proportion, out of control in Brazil. Up to this point in time, I can stand corrected. I don't know if Tracy hears something where I not hear, or somebody hears something where I not hear. I not hear the Prime Minister or any minister come out and say we must travel to South America. I don't hear nobody say don't travel to South America because the Zika is uncontrollable. Brazil have the highest amount of Zika patients, including defective baby, according to them. Now, you're going to tell somebody don't go to South America, or you're going to tell them, say, be careful or you go to Brazil. It's a weird little thing. Strange. That we hear all artists the other day, I said them naga Africa. Can you imagine that? Them not going to Africa because Ebola dead there. You have West Africa, you have South Africa, you have East Africa, you have North Africa. 50 different countries make up this continent called Africa. 3 countries, there was an epidemic, according to them. Even though we went to Ivory Coast right at the heart at the time, and Ivory Coast is next door to Guinea. Next door, Sierra Leone. As a matter of fact, when I was in Gambia, I was supposed to go to Sierra Leone and Guinea, and them say, them go and cancel that move because of the Ebola. And we was just next door to Sierra Leone. Can we go to Senegal? Senegal, then Sierra Leone is the next country, Sierra Leone. That means we was right there beside it. Last year we go Ivory Coast, and right in the heart when them say you must go to Guinea, and Sierra Leone, we see people, artists, and all these people come across the border in a Ivory Coast to come take part in the festival, the reggae festival, 5-day reggae festival, pure reggae. That I was shocked and surprised. Brother come interview me, tell me say Guinea, if I come from a radio station in Guinea, me start to chat now because me I say, no, me want interview you because me want to know where you are do over here, so. And me here say, Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia, depend Ebola watch, I will not pay evil. I mean, how you reach over here, so. But we there. We know you're not more about Ebola again. We even interviewed the first case of Ebola in America. This man did have it. Is a Jamaican daughter that take care of him. And we interview her upon the stepping razor. A Jamaican daughter was taking care of that Ebola patient and dead eventually. And when we check it, all the white people them who catch it live in America. Not this daughter who she was doing some things in Sierra Leone and she come back and she catch it. And them a try quarantine her. She say, look here man, I'm foolish to not deal with. Because them say after 21 days you have to leave it out. Them quarantine you feel like I think a 21 day or something like that. And after that now them say, alright, you're free. If them not see no case right, no symptoms, them say you're free and them things. The Ebola. Now we know you're not more about Ebola again. Not no if but nothing. Up come now. This next one I know. Them call it chikungunya. And now it's the same mosquito where we have at Jamaica, where have the dengue. It's the same mosquito I give the people them dengue, chikungunya. Some people in them thinking I say it's not a mosquito I do it, or some them leg going at the ear. You have Jamaican people who go to that level there. Say it's not mosquito cause it. But it's mosquito. Now what them do now, them Lego some mosquito, them genetically modified mosquito. And it's not, since we hear about it, it's happening, you know. If you don't hear, we're going to play this clip. I'm going to play this clip, yeah. This are coming from, this are coming from somewhere, so we're going to play this clip, yeah. Where's the clip there?
A Reddit user has exposed the shocking fact that the epicenter of the Zika outbreak is located precisely where so-called genetically modified or GM mosquitoes were released in 2015. The particular strain of Oxitec GM mosquitoes, OX513A, are said to be genetically altered in an effort to cause the vast majority of their offspring to die before they mature. The insects were said to have been released in an effort to control dengue, Zika, and other viruses, but that plan has appeared to have backfired, or did it? Those genetically modified mosquitoes work to control wild, potentially disease-carrying populations in a very specific manner. Only the male-modified Aedes mosquitoes are supposed to be released into the wild, as they will mate with their unaltered female counterparts. Once offspring are produced, the modified, scientific facet is supposed to kick in and kill that larva before it reaches breeding age, if tetracycline is not present during its development. But there is a problem. According to an unclassified document from the Trade and Agriculture Directorate Committee for Agriculture dated February 2015, Brazil is the third largest in global antimicrobial consumption and food animal production, meaning Brazil is third in the world for its use of tetracycline in its food animals. As a study by the American Society of Agronomy, et al. Explained, it is estimated that approximately 75% of antibiotics are not absorbed by animals and are excreted in waste. One of the antibiotics, or antimicrobials, specifically named in that report for its environmental persistence is tetracycline. In fact, as a confidential internal Oxitec document divulged in 2012, that survival rate could be as high as 15%, even with low levels of tetracycline present. Even small amounts of tetracycline can repress the engineered lethality. Indeed, that 15% survival rate was described by Oxitec. After a lot of testing and comparing experimental design, it was found that researchers had used a cat food to feed the OX513A larva, and this cat food contained chicken. It is known that tetracycline is routinely used to prevent infections in chickens, especially in the cheap, mass-produced chicken used for animal food. The chicken is heat-treated before being used, but this does not remove all the tetracycline. This meant that a small amount of tetracycline was being added from the food to the larva and repressing the designed lethal system. HT As the WHO stated in its press release, conditions associated with this year's El Niño weather pattern are expected to increase mosquito populations greatly in many areas. President Obama called for a massive research effort to develop a vaccine for the Zika virus, as one does not currently exist.
Yeah, this is the cutting edge on RFM. We are going through the pieces. We are bringing another level to the argument and to the reasoning when it comes out to the Zik V vibes. Because you know, so you're not going to hear them thing upon no other radio station. You understand? Them just tell you where them was told to tell you. They are telling you what they were told to tell you, because them in a Jamaica still don't understand where we're going. And you see them all send samples of this virus to Trinidad. That means that them not set up in a Jamaica to deal with this. The government, the health, again, them change the man, but them not change the thing we are going, you know. The government is not set up to deal with this other thing when them are sent pound with down here. So, we are examining it to the levels I know, because we tell the people if you clean up them surroundings, you know. Look at I never tell you, you know. I tell you, no. Get rid of certain things around, you know, and, you know, see, live a healthy little environment around yourself. But you may I say now. So them tell me not to go to Africa because of Ebola. Africa, the continent of Africa bigger than South America. What me say? The continent, Asia the biggest continent. Now that them say Asia and then Africa. I think Africa the second largest continent. Asia them say the biggest continent. But here we know. The Prime Minister, the ministry, all of them give out warning. Don't, if you can avoid going to Africa now, don't go. That was early last year, them time, them I said them thing there. 2014, them I said them thing there to the people, them don't go. People who don't know the geography of Africa, them don't understand, say West Africa and North Africa, or West Africa and South Africa, or West Africa and East Africa is and North Africa, or West Africa and South Africa, or West Africa and East Africa is thousands of miles apart. Thousands of miles. As a matter of fact, you have different time zone I deal with in when you go to Africa, different time zone. No, them not tell you, say, right now, the epidemic, them declare it a international disaster, you know. This new thing I want to bring up and we know, you know. A national disaster. But me not hear no communique or release on the radio from the Ministry of Health. I tell people, say, don't go to South America. Even though the Brazilian government say it out of, them can't control it again. The Brazilian government say them can't control it. Thousands of pregnant women catch it. The government say them can't control it. This year them going to have what? Them going to have the Olympics there. And them, the government of Brazil, tell the people them say, no pregnant woman should have come to the Olympic. No woman will find themselves pregnant must come to the Olympic. And that the government has said in Brazil. I don't hear the government tell people don't go to South America. It would be stupid for them to say don't go to South America. But them did stupid enough to tell you don't go to Africa. Them did stupid enough to tell you say don't go to Africa. Because Ebola will catch you. And them frighten the people, them freak out everybody. One little Nigerian man sneezed 2 times in a hospital, must have Mandeville down, everybody hold him down and say, yes, him name have Ebola. A Nigerian. Freak out everybody in Jamaica. But when I hear no communique, I said, don't go to South America. As a matter of fact, and I appear stand to be corrected thing me I go out with tonight, you know. Because I now make nothing written in a stone here tonight. I don't know if Tracy hear this, but I don't know if Tracy hear or anyone on hear the government say, we must abandon traveling to Brazil. You hear anything like that, Tracy? No. Tracy said she not hear. Maybe she still like me. She not hear everything. So I don't know if anybody can call me and tell me if them hear the government of Jamaica, including the Ministry of Health, because last year Brazil said Jamaican can go to Brazil without visa. Last year, the Brazilian government said Jamaican can go to Brazil without visa. This year is the Olympics. The Brazilian government say all pregnant women who think they're pregnant must avoid going to the Olympics. I am still to hear the government of Jamaica tell the Jamaican people, say, avoid going to Brazil. Avoid going to Brazil. So wait, you know, when I tell the people them they must avoid go to Brazil. You have some people out there who don't care, you know, them just go to Brazil, but if you tell them would avoid it, just like how you tell them to avoid Africa, and a whole heap of idiot artists that tell them not go to Africa. Idiot artists them. I talk about them not go to Africa because see there, yes, Ebola, take over Africa. It's so like when them have World War, and I just Europe a kill off European. A World War, Germany against England, against France, against Russia. Europeans are kill off Europeans. I hear you say World War. Brazil. Me love Brazil. Me go to Brazil already. And me love it. Me love Brazil. At the first place, me go and see woman dance and me see some place move on the woman them when me never know see them place they could have moved on woman. And it no look sexual or it no look sexual. When the Brazil, I mean, me evaluate it, can me look on some dance all woman a dance, and you can't see sex them I think about when them a dance. And when me look on, when the man them look on the Jamaican woman them and them a dance, a sex them I think on, as a matter of fact, them simulate sex in the dance hall. Woman just lap you. And the man a juke. I mean, I tell you, it look like a beast. All the people them go on. It look like some animal. Lower class of animal. When them a dance. When we go to Brazil, man, we see the woman them a dance, man, and it's like you watch a art. It's like a body art. Artistry a go on. The way them a move. And then people they keep party for everything. Everything. If baby born, them keep part. If baby dead, them keep part. If them win the football, them keep part. If them lose the football, them keep part. I just party. But when I hear nothing, I tell you, say, don't go to Brazil. I wonder why. The government now is in a communique that them warning all Jamaicans to don't travel to Brazil. And on a bigger level, don't travel to South America. When I tell the people them don't go to South America, you say one disease over there named Zika where is out of control, where we call defect. And you're the part right now. Them say the disease can be transmitted through sexual intercourse. Trace, you never hear that? You hear that? All right, I mean, say, I know me when I say it then. I don't want to say things where people I say, Buta, where get them fools from. I want confirmation for everything when I say. You understand? Yeah. Them say this disease here can be transmitted through sexual intercourse. You know what I tell you say? You better put on chastity belt. Chastity. Where the white people them used to wear in Europe, and where them used to wear, put the woman them pan. So them used to chain up woman, lock up woman vagina with some things round them vagina there and lock it. When the man gone out, them lock it. And that. And that the way we do believe you, we. Them say, them telling the woman them to avoid sex for at least 12 months or over. Avoid sex because the baby in the womb. And it's true them attack. That defect we are going, It's true them attack, Because them knows what them did. They know what they do and what they are doing to create metamorphosis or mutation. I shouldn't say metamorphosis. Mutation. They are using their chemical and biological scientific knowledge to create devastation in the earth and make life miserable for simple people. The government is said that them ready. One little youth, them, I don't know how them find out, say this youth a port more of it, and them say the youth come from Texas, and the American them ball out and say, what I say? The American them ball out and say, don't say that. Where you talk about the youth catch it at Texas for? And guess what now? Them just find out, say, a case in Texas. Just the other day, after them talk with the youth, say no go so them send things gone at Trinidad for go test. Jamaican people, we not follow no conspiracy theory. We not follow no argument about why when you can't have it and don't know. Right now, I true them attack with that one because I know say Brian have it and him no know. So we have to watch it. But the problem with it now is that when them start to tell you say you can't catch it through sex. And Brian tell me how much woman him have. Yeah, me know you never want your girlfriend here. You never want your girlfriend here. Who say my Brian girlfriend out there? They tell out though. Brian say you have many girls. Yes, yeah, see it, you get naked now. You till you go back out there now. So tell me, Brian, you tell me say me one. Let me know your motor talk about say you have many girls. It's that him tell me a while ago. I have traits to back me up in now. So me I say, the only thing I run here so now, we're going to play a documentary. We're going to play a documentary, but we have an interview here where we want to get out of the way with, say this concert will come up here, so. Yeah, this concert, Miss came and celebrate her. She had 36. Miss came at 36 years old. Let's say she had 36 in the music business. A birthday celebration, and she's a birthday celebration and 36 years in the music business, but she look like 36 on this picture, yeah. But came out keep a concert, yeah. Saturday the 6th of February at Spigos Place off Mandela Highway, Truck Fest venue. Whole heap of artists, I give her the strength, keep it on Lucian, George Looks, Louis Culture, Cocotti, Bushman, Akea, and the list goes on and on and on. You know, so this lady represent a beacon of hope for female who go into the music business and not necessarily artists, but on the next level, managerial skill. Managerial skill. She's a beacon of hope for female who want to get into the music business and not necessarily want to sing or DJ, but participate in it in a managerial way. We want to heal up Miss Kim. Good night, ma'am. Good night. She did, you know, but I hear some talking again. Hello? So shall I listen to the radio?
Good night, Muta.
Miss Kim, oh, you listen to the radio and I'm here to talk to you.
Muta.
Miss Kim, oh, you listen to the radio and I'm here to talk to you.
Hello?
Yes, you have to stop listening to the radio.
Okay, but I'm not listening to the radio.
But may I hear the radio?
Muta.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, you can't hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right. I was just saying, I don't know if you was hearing me. I was saying that you are a good example of female who want to go into the music industry and not necessarily want to go on stage, but be a part of the development of the artist. You should open a music, you should open a managerial school. Where you laugh? You don't think so?
Coming from you, Muta, that's a compliment.
Yeah, man, you should have, man, what you do for Capleton, man? Believe you me, man. I mean, no only party that want to in the position of Capleton. You should have a place where you can say, and maybe you collect some different money too.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, man. All right. So you're 36-year-old now.
No. My involvement in the music.
I joke with you, but I joke.
Yes, 36. But then if you add my age, you'll get 15.
Okay.
So do the math.
All right. Give time. All right. So tell me something now. Tell me about the show. Because
yes, this is a concept.
Yes.
And it is something that started out in a simple way, a simple manner, because I've never had anything like this before.
Yeah.
It was not taught, but it was given to me, like I would say from time to time. You're given a lemon. So instead of throwing it away and say, oh, it's not orange or grapefruit, then I just make some lemonade.
Lemonade, yes.
So I'm making lemonade now.
Okay.
Yes.
And the artists them come forward and say, Miss Kim, from you, we're ready.
Let me tell you, man, this shows that love is in the air.
Yeah, man.
Right? And I give thanks for each and every one of the artists who come forward with love, genuine love for me.
Yeah.
And others who would love to be there, but maybe they're otherwise engaged, but then we have some surprises.
Watch out, more artists that when they on these posters I go out there, you know, I want to go up and to do a thing for Miss Kim, you know that?
It's true.
Yeah, I hope you have space for them, you know, because...
Yes, Muta, this place, I mean, you should just take a drive down here. Yesterday evening I took Nambo and Desi and some others down there, and they cannot believe. This is an oasis in the desert.
Yeah.
People driving on Mandela would never imagine that somewhere like this exists over there. Because it usually is a swamp. You know that swamp area?
Yeah.
It's out near to where they had Coney Park.
Yes.
And the beautiful hillside, the Plantation Heights mountain there behind.
You have to drive, go weird, off of Mandela, go weird down there. You drive, go down there to reach the place where you're talking about.
Yes. And the sunset is beautiful, just like sunset in New Guinea. It is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, Spiegle's place.
I can ask you a question now. Why you put it on the 6th of February? Because you know the other activities...
No, you know something, Muta? If this is not me, it is just the happening. I planned that I'm going to do my birthday. My birthday is the 7th.
Okay. Oh, I never wanted to
But the moment we started planning for the 7th, another event, which is, this is like David and Goliath. So one of the artists said to me, Mom, don't worry yourself. Just put it the night before. When we put it the night before, then we hear about a whole lot of other events. Then we had gone too far. But we said, Kingston is big, Jamaica is big, and there is a little piece, is a big pie, the music is massive. So we can share whatever it is.
Plus the artists, they will have on the show, tend for draws crowd still.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, birthday celebration, 36 years in the music industry. When I said, all right, 36 years in the music industry, what was before Capleton?
What was before Capleton, or who was before there? Officially, I had Keith Poppin doing a festival song that I produced.
Oh, yeah?
So I had my stint at production.
Under the same name?
You mean Camp?
Yes.
At the time, I was employed to corporate Jamaica.
Yes.
So you can't just go out and be using your name to do other things like that. So I used my pet name, which is Claire, and then I turned it around. It's K Claire.
Yes.
Claire Kemp. Yes. But it was not. I met Peter Tosh before, from 1976, but I did not meet him as a manager, but just a defender. Of Peter. So because of that, we kept the friendship. And when I was doing this song for Keith, I didn't have a label. And I told Peter that I'm doing this song and I don't have a label. He said, no problem, use my label. So this song was done on the Intel Diplo label.
Intel. Okay.
Yes. So that's a part of the history.
Yes.
And then when I went up to Bohemia Club, you remember Bohemia?
Yeah, man, man.
Yes. Dean Fraser was the arranger of this festival song, Jam Down Festival. So he saw me the evening driving from work, and he said I should come up with some of the record to give Hamilton. Mr. Hamilton was the proprietor for Bohemia. I went up there the night with the record to promote the song with Keith, and that was when David Isaacs introduced me to Mr. Hammond.
A whole lot of people don't know who David Isaacs is.
David Isaacs, yes.
A whole lot of people now don't know who David Isaacs was, Them don't really know them artists there.
Most people don't know them because we were in a group of people with Jimmy London and David Isaacs, Keith Poppin, Freddie McKay, that era.
And when the brand name again, Brown. Remember Brown? Them used to play a boy in there too. Name again.
Brown? No. Dennis Brown?
No, man. Not Dennis Brown, man.
Dennis was a part of that era too.
Yeah, no, but I still remember my name. But that club was a club where seemed to stand out in a whole heap of people's mind.
Yes, with even Glenn Washington.
Yeah.
Tiger. Coming out of that same
era. Yeah, that same
era, yes. Yeah. Because Glenn used to be the drummer then of the Titans band.
Yeah. All right, so we want to remind the people them Saturday the 6th February, Spiegels Place of Mandela Highway.
Yes, Spiegels Place.
Yes.
And they had Truck Fest there recently.
Yes.
Yes, same venue.
I know it's this part.
And the parking, it's massive. So you have ample parking.
Yeah, parking there like worries, man.
Parking is there like crazy. You don't have to park on the street. And the place will be properly marked with arrows and banners and lights.
Okay.
And it's very nearby to Duane Park, walking distance actually from Duane Park.
Yeah, man. Everybody will see the activities we are going and know exactly how far to keep.
But because, they like to see when the vehicles park on the street, that is excitement. But that won't happen there because it is the highway. So you drive as if you're going to Plantation Heights, and then you go in there, massive parking.
Okay, Mama. Give thanks.
And you have you can get pre-sale tickets.
Oh, how much a ticket them is? How much a ticket?
1,000 pre-sold.
Okay.
15 at the gate.
Okay.
And you can get the pre-sold at Genius Pharmacy in Bayside Plaza, York Pharmacy in Halfway Tree, Petcom Portmore Mall, and the Total gas station at Dunrobin and Constant Spring Road.
All right. You know, to the first, when I hear say Miss Kim involved in our country, we think say St. Mary come back again, you know.
It's coming back. Yeah. Actually, it's a prelude, but it's coming back.
Oh yeah, because the first time you say what? St. Mary come back again.
Yes, man. St. Mary may come back in August.
When is August?
5th of August, yes.
The 5th of
That's
August.
a pre-independence celebration.
Yes, celebration. I'll see him place.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you're well active. You're well active, man.
Yes.
Forever young. Forever. All right.
And thanks for the re-education.
Yeah, man. Give thanks.
Tonight.
Yeah, man. Give thanks.
It's wonderful.
Irie.
Thank you, Muta. Bye-bye.
Yes, that is Miss Kim here and birthday celebration and 36 years in the music industry. For those of you who don't know Miss Kim is, you must live in some Afghanistan or some place like that. You understand? Click it.
The Zika virus is a disease caused by the bite of an infected Aedes aegypti mosquito. Check your premises weekly for any containers that can hold water. Get rid of old tires. Punch holes in tins before disposing. And cover large drums, barrels, and tanks holding water. Protect yourself from ZigV. Keep your surroundings mosquito-free.
A message from the Ministry of Health. Sponsored by NHN.
The taste of quality.
Saturday, February 6th is Errol Dunkley's birthday bash with celebrations at Randy Williams Entertainment Center, Hope Road, Kingston, featuring Errol Dunkley, Leroy Siblings, Freddie McGregor, Ken Booth, Jem Myers, Big Youth, Frankie Paul, Pam Hall, Joe Zuel, General Trees, and the Jat T from London. Backed by Lloyd Parks and with the People Band. Admission 1,000, pre-sold 1,500 of the gate. Showtime 9 p.m. All happening February 6th. Randy Williams Entertainment Center, Errol Dunkley's birthday bash, February 6th.
Now you're a young guy.
This is an Irie FM Big Up.
When the sun goes down and you're stepping out, step up to gold, Rum Bar Gold.
Age 4 years for premium taste, Rum Bar Gold.
Come join the fans, they'll tell you it's worth its weight in gold. Step up to gold, step up to gold, Rum Bar Gold. Enjoy responsibly.
And celebrate the life and legacy of the reggae legend Robert Nesta Marley at the first annual One Love Music Festival with performances from Akon, Kimani Mali, Morgan Heritage, Tessan Chin, Nadine Sutherland, Tanto Metro and Devontae, me, your girl CK, Sabrina Deepa, Cranium, Deep Burns, Devin the Doctor, and many more on February 5th at Rose Hall, Montego Bay. Special thanks to Top Gun, Rose Hall Developments, Red Stripe, CPJ, Sandals, Ibero Star, Pepsi, Ting, Digicel, Fontana Pharmacy, Ocean Star, Spice World Supermarket. Must be 18 and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
See David Thomas Bangarang.
Saturday, February 6th, Jockey Factory Lucy. Sunday, February 7th, Old Police Station Maple. Ash Wednesday, February 10th, Otrius High School. Saturday, February 13th, Hotel Kaminga Savlamam. And Sunday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, Montego Bay Community College.
Bangarang! It's great to be appreciated, and it's even greater when it's the annual Petcom Christian Customer Appreciation Day. Saturday, February 6th. You know that the DJ Bones love the excitement, and we, meaning Irie, the Girl Them Diary, will be there live from 1 p.m. Why? How about some free fuel? How about Lucky Dip? How about gift baskets? How about free cooking gas? How about free battery and windscreen wash from Tropical Battery? How about you reach and join in Petcom Christian Customer Appreciation Day? Saturday, February 6th. We're looking for you. Petcom, rising to your expectations.
This is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
The JLP ramps up the message of prosperity in a tour of St. Bess in Manchester, Thursday starting at 9. Andrew Holness leads the tour in St. Bess. Audley Shaw leads as a man a yard in Manchester. Labour Party River come down from bank to bank at the mass rally in Junction St. Bess at 6 p.m. And you are invited. Here party
was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
The following is a message from Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller.
Today, lifted by the everyday sacrifices of Jamaicans, we live in this moment as a great people, steadfast in the hope of a better tomorrow. Around the world, our successful program of social and economic progress is being hailed and encouraged.
We support the ongoing reform efforts in Jamaica, deal with its public debt while still making investments in youth and people of Jamaica, which ultimately will determine long-term growth to strengthen good governance.
President of the United States of America, Barack Obama.
Our standing in the world continues to improve, and we are respected by other nations, by world leaders and global institutions whose faith in our country has been strengthened.
That was a message from Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller.
We help you get there.
Are you a small business owner? You work hard and you want to build your business to earn more? Well, the Development Bank of Jamaica will help you with the money you need to get there. With a business loan or a partial loan guarantee, contact your financial institution and ask how.
The Development Bank of Jamaica.
We help you get there.
Sidella Marley Booker and Smiling Island Foods present 9 Mile Music Festival Jamaica on February 6, 2016 at 9 Mile Foundation in St. Anne, featuring live performances by Beanie Man, Bounty Killer, Teflon, Junior Cat, Gullibar, Shauna Chin, Aishana, and many more, with Big Sounds, Bass Odyssey, and Kilimanjaro. Admission $1,500 before 11, $2,000 after. 9 Mile Music Festival Jamaica. Be there.
Saturday, February 6th is Errol Duncan's birthday bash in a Lovers Rock style. Randy Williams Entertainment Center, Hope Road, Kingston, featuring Errol Duncan, Leroy Siblings, Freddie McGregor, Ken Booth, Jim Myers, Big Youth, Frankie Paul, Pam Hall, Josie West, Trees, and the Jatty from London. Tickets are available at Derek Harriet Stringgates Plaza, Richie B's Wholesale Liquor, Mary Brown's Corner, York Pharmacy, Halfway Tree, and the Portmore Mall Pharmacy. Admission 1,000 pre-sold to 1,500 at the gate. Errol Duncan's birthday bash in a rubber dub style. Randy Williams Entertainment Center, February 6th.
This is an IRIFM Big Up.
Come celebrate the life of the legendary reggae icon Bob Marley's 71st birthday on February 7th, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. at Sabina Park. To win VIP tickets, check out Red Stripe Jamaica on Facebook and Instagram. Come with your heart and soul and enjoy a Gong 71 limited edition Red Stripe Lemon Paradise. One love, one beer. Red Stripe. Must be 18 years and older. ID required. Drink responsibly.
Come out and celebrate the life and legacy of the reggae legend Robert Nesta Marley at the first annual One Love Music Festival with performances from Akon, Kimani Marley, Morgan Heritage, Tessa and Chin, Nadine Sutherland, Tanto Metro and Devante, me, your girl CK, Sabrina Deepa, Cranium, Deep Burns, Devin the Doctor, and many more on February 5th at Rose Hall, Montego Bay. Special thanks to Tough Gong, Rose Hall Developments, Red Stripe, CPJ, Sandoz, Ibero Star, Pepsi, Ting, Digicel, Fontana Pharmacy, Ocean Star, Spice World Supermarket. Must be 18 and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Ray and Nephew White Overproof Rum. Present. Ray and Nephew Rum Bucket. Good. It's the Cupid edition. Saturday, February the 13th. Everyone free before 12. 500 after. Well, if you can do that dance, they HOTs I do that dance. Music by DJ Diamond, Team Full Charge, Team Sheller, Sunja Calico, DJ Bank and Sidhu. Ray and Nephew Rum Bucket. 18 years and older. IDs required. Please drink responsibly. See, David Thomas, Bangarang! Saturday, February 6th, Jockey Factory, Lucy. Sunday, February 7th, Older Police Station, Maypen. Ash Wednesday, February 10th, Otrias High School. Saturday, February 13th, Hotel Kaminga Savlamam. And Sunday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, Montego Bay Community College. Bangarang! Well, I tell you, the thing so like a holiday I go on with the weekend, you know. The place so like it's a holiday to run. Trust me, man. Okay. We'll go up on this mosquito thing, you know. We want, as well as we are trying to bring another perspective to where you are here, to the whole thing. But we are use for them kind of thing, you know, because apparently Jamaica don't really know where we're going. They might take them news from other places. So instead of we give you for them news, we
We all get the news from the place where the government get the news. You understand? You understand? We give you where the government give you. But because them know, because them have something to do with all these things. And we're not talking about them lightly. We're not talking about them, the government, our government. We're talking about them who create the vibes to make all of these problems continue. Where them create one problem and never says a problem, and then it become a problem. And it come like, no, you know, say you can't get, you know, say, I can't do what the Brazilian people them are say, you know. Cause unless I get my news from. I can't do what the Brazilian them are say. You can paralyze, you Tracy, you hear that too? You know, say you can paralyze if you catch it. What Tracy there? Them say you can't get paralyzed. And a death now we are talking about, you know. Paralyzed. That means your hand itch up underneath you so your face up in the ear. Half of you look like you're dead and half look like Brian. It's a terrible thing. Alright, so why you listen to this?
Thousands of infants in Brazil are being diagnosed with a devastating birth defect, and medical researchers believe it might be linked to a mosquito-borne virus. So what is this mysterious virus, and how do we stop it? Hi guys, Julia here for D News. Zika, a strange mosquito-borne virus, is sweeping through many Central and South American countries. Current estimates place the number of Zika cases over 1 million in Brazil alone. And in response to the outbreak, the CDC...
Stop this a little bit. You hear the woman say? The cases in Brazil is over 1 million. That is what them know about, you know. Over 1 million. That's a 1/3 of Jamaica population. The other day when the virus come here, so when the chikungunya come here, the majority of 2/3 of the population get it. Most Jamaican get that disease, that virus there when they have chikungunya. Most Jamaicans did have it and still have it. Still affect them. And a whole heap of people dead when them try downplay the death of the Jamaican people. But a whole heap of Jamaican dead from the disease. You hear the woman say now? The woman say over 1 million. That's what them know about, you know. That's what them know about. You understand? It's like the brother they were named Fenton Ferguson. When them tell him say Ongo must 30 case him know about. And after the doctor him call we the day and tell we say them don't understand what Fenton talk about because in a Fenton alone past 30 long time. Not to mention St. Thomas where him represent. The place where him represent was devastated with it. So we are listening to them. We are listening to it. Because it's a serious thing.
1 million in Brazil alone. And in response to the outbreak, the CDC has implemented 2 new travel bans to an already large list for pregnant women. One on the United States Virgin Islands and the other on the Dominican Republic. The ban is for pregnant women specifically because since the epidemic started, the incidences of microcephaly, a devastating birth defect, have skyrocketed. Microcephaly is a condition where a baby is born with a small head. Because the head is so small in those born with the condition, the brain is small too, meaning it's underdeveloped, which can cause a whole range of other health issues like cognitive deficits, seizures, feeding problems, vision problems, and hearing loss. Unfortunately, there's no cure for the condition, only treatments for its effects. Microcephaly is typically seen in rates of about 2 in 10,000 births, according to a study published in the journal Birth Defects Research. But nearly 4,000 cases have been reported in Brazil since October. That's nearly 26 times the normal rate. And researchers strongly suspect that the birth defect is linked to the Zika Zika virus. Now, this epidemic seemed to have come out of nowhere. The mosquito that carries the virus was pretty much eradicated in Brazil in the 1950s. But as the decades wore on, it made its way back. Then, last year, reports of Zika in Brazil started popping up. It wasn't taken too seriously since its symptoms in adults are mild, just things like a fever or a rash. It wasn't until the rate of microcephaly shot up that the world started to take notice. Now, the battle against Zika is underway, and one that Brazil is badly losing, according to the health minister. And it is literally a battle. 220,000 members of the armed forces are going door to door to help in the current mosquito eradication efforts. But it's not just Brazil. Zika has been reported in 24 regions around the world, mostly in tropical areas. Each country is issuing warnings. Some seem extreme. For instance, the government of El Salvador told women to avoid pregnancy for 2 years. As for the Zika virus itself, there's no treatment, vaccine, or cure. The CDC says the best way to avoid the virus is to avoid mosquito bites. Now, experts say that a U.S. outbreak is unlikely to occur. They believe that most cases will happen to those who travel to Brazil and other affected countries. But this summer, tons of people will descend on Rio de Janeiro for the 2016 Games, which some experts are calling a perfect dissemination vehicle for Zika. If people travel to Brazil, get Zika from a mosquito bite, then return home and get bitten there, the Zika virus could transfer to the local mosquito population, which would mean that there's a potential for localized outbreaks in other parts of the world. Zika is just one of many viruses and diseases that mosquitoes carry. To find out why they're such good carriers of disease, check out this video right here. Most mosquitoes actually fight malaria with their immune responses to parasites. After a mosquito sucks up its bloody meal, a parotrophic matrix or barrier forms in between the bug's lining of their midgut and the blood. So what do you make of this recent outbreak? And what precautions would you take to avoid mosquito bites? Tell us down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and keep coming back to D News so you don't miss a single episode.
Yes, may I tell you, that is information where you want to hear about this Zika virus, that this mosquito has been around a very long time. Dengue fever mosquito. See a mosquito, when they say a gonorrhea, what them call chikungunya mosquito. And now it gone Zika. What a terrible mosquito. Mosquito 1, mosquito 2, mosquito 3. Give Zika. What a thing. So now, after playing all of that, we want to line you up now for where we're going to play now. We're going to play this in celebration of Malcolm X. And then we come now to the next thing we're going to tell you about, because it says Zika with the part. Dennis Brown. Cases, as we say, this is belated birthday greetings for Dennis Brown, and also we are going through the Zika vibes. It's a terrible thing. We play 2-3 different tape. 1, 2 people have discussed the pros, not even the cons, the pros of GMO and what GMO can be used for. And then we play the Florida issue where them lego these mosquito, this genetically modified mosquito, in order to mate with the Aedes aegypti mosquito, to kill them off or to stunt them that them can breed up. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. All right. So we're going to listen to Alex. Name again. Virgil. All right. We're going to play him. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this.
AFP, that's the French news agency, RT, and others have been reporting on what they call the California flu that's killing hundreds of people, including 20-something troops just the last few weeks in eastern Ukraine. Major power stations have been blown up. Power lines are being blown up. The West is running a very serious war there. A year ago, U.S. Special Forces were sent to advise. There's been video of men speaking American English, New York accents, firing machine guns. It's a very serious situation, proxy war. So is Syria. The Pentagon, at a certain level, basically said, we don't want to be part of this anymore. And it's come out they've been leaking info to the Syrians. So there's an internal war within the government. But part of any war, in the last 60 years really, are covert bioweapons. And we're going to look at the Zika virus and see if it's one of those or a precursor to prep people for it with one of the top experts in the world here in just a moment. I've heard numbers of 100,000, 400,000. I was watching CNN last night, and they said upwards of 400,000 in 22 countries and 20-something cases in the U.S. Is that hype? John Rappaport has a report on that. But what does this virus really do? Dr. Francis Boyle is about to join us. Briefly, I was going to plug this anyways. What do I do to try to stay healthy? I take iodine because a lot of people are deficient in that. Our X2 is the purest you can find out there, InfoWarsLife.com. Read the studies, look at the evidence there. DNA Force that's about to sell out has the Bio PQQ that just the one serving of this is literally hundreds of pounds of blueberries. You can look up all the facts. 175 studies are linked up at InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com. But I mean, just regardless, folks, eating fresh vegetables, green leafy vegetables, orange peels, whatever, just getting healthy, obviously, getting sunlight with all these new crazy super diseases. I never used to be a hypochondriac, but when my uncle died, my great uncle and my cousin in a 2-month period 2 years ago with a mystery illness racing around that no one knew what it was, they wouldn't say, and the hospitals were all full, but it wasn't on national news. It really asked, super bugs from antibiotics, whatever's going on is crazy. And the U.S. has the biggest biological weapons program in the world. And so now we go to our guest, who I really appreciate joining us. I'm not going to go over his whole bio in the interest of time, but Professor Francis Anthony Boyle is obviously an author. He is a leading American expert in international law. He was responsible for drafting the Biological Weapons Anti-Terrorism Act of '89 that was then ratified, the American implementing legislation of the 1972 Biological Weapons Convention. He served on the board of the directors of Amnesty International for 4 years as well, and represented Bosnia and Herzegovina at the World Court. He serves as a legal advisor to the Palestinian delegation of the Middle East peace negotiations. He, in 2007, delivered the Bertrand Russell Peace Lecture. It just goes on too much. But top of his class at Harvard, and PhD, magna cum laude, political science, also from Harvard. And I just can't go over the rest of it. He's run, major commissions on genocide. So he's a world expert on nukes, bioweapons, you name it. He's got the contacts. And he does his research, and he's here to present what he thinks is going on with Zika and where he thinks it's going. Now, I immediately, when I heard about this weeks ago, and I've been doing my own research, I hadn't spoken yet, and Nico said, why aren't you talking about this more? And I said, well, I know Bill Gates is obsessed with releasing mosquitoes to, quote, give you vaccines and force medical things on you. And he's also involved in studying gut illnesses and things like, weather control. He's the head up guy on that. He runs the UN programs with these inoculations that keep killing people in mass and maiming them and sterilizing them. And they find in the vaccines the hormone added to it to create a sterilant. So it's not like he's a suspect. He's been caught in all this. And his wife a few years ago made a very cryptic statement in Germany. She said, the people claiming we're involved in covert population control and things, you better watch it or people are going to die. It was a double meaning, quote, you're going to kill people not having us do this, or we're going to get you. But they're his dad ran Planned Parenthood, was in Army intelligence, high level. These are very serious people, okay? And from our research, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is a front for real shadow government eugenics. Now, let's just stop right there. He's the main funder of gun control, you name it as well, but never gets heat for it. So talking about him is very dangerous. So we appreciate Professor Francis Boyle's courage. He's going to drop some heavy data on us. And for radio listeners, I'm going to be going through articles here while he speaks, backing up the things I just said, okay? And you can later tonight go to Infowars.com. We'll have the video of this posted, even if you're not watching us live and just listening, because this isn't science fiction. This is the real world. And they're saying women shouldn't have children for a couple of years. In these countries now, is it a scare to not have kids? Is that the population control? Causes deformities in children? Here to tell us what the virus does, what he really thinks is happening, and who the main suspects are, if it's a bioweapon, is Professor Francis Anthony Boyle. Sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, Alex, thank you very much for having me on, and my best to your viewing audience.
Thank you, sir. You've got the floor. Go ahead and tell us what you think's going on here.
Well, of course, I have no inside information. I've just been dealing with reputable news media sources from around the world, but it does seem to me and to others, another expert friend of mine, that what we were dealing with here is some type of biowarfare agent that has been genetically modified, GMO. So for that reason, you really can't believe anything the WHO, the Pan American Health Organization, the CDC is telling you. It also appears, as you correctly point out, that Gates was involved in this. Bill Engdahl has the book on Gates that he's basically a genocidalist. He does have people on his staff with experience having done what I call death science, life scientists who do biowarfare work. It appears that the U.S. Advanced Biowarfare Facility at Galveston was involved. It also appears that the BSL-4 facility at Colorado State that works with GMOing mosquitoes was involved, and that this British high-tech firm Oxitec was involved. What is critical here is that I believe it was the summer of 2004, there was a scholarly paper published saying that these genetically modified mosquitoes could be dangerous if they were released. And despite this knowledge, they were released both in Brazil and also in Colombia, deliberately and maliciously. Now, why Brazil and Colombia? Brazil, you hit the Atlantic coast of Latin America, and Colombia, you hit the Pacific coast of Latin America, and you set off a pandemic. So as of now, I think that's what's going on. I'll continue to monitor the situation and, act in accordance with the best information I have. But I don't think you should trust anything the CDC, the WHO, the Pan American Health Organization is telling you. They're all in cahoots with Gates. The Brazilian government is in cahoots with Gates. They're all up to their eyeballs in this stuff. Right now, I personally would not be traveling down to Latin America until we have some idea precisely what we are dealing with. And yet I note on Monday, the WHO has convened an emergency meeting where they're going to tell everyone, just keep business and travel as usual. I take it they got those instructions from the CDC, and we know full well the nefarious role that the CDC, the WHO, played in the Black West African Ebola pandemic. You and I have already been through that, so I'm not going to go through that here all over again. It's a very dangerous situation. In fact, another biowarfare expert, formerly the United States government, that I am working with my approval, has informed the administration of the University of Illinois that we don't believe anyone should be traveling down to Latin America for any reason until we know precisely what is going on here. This so-called Zika is also transmitted by sexual intercourse, which I think proves that we have a GMO'd biowarfare agent at work here. And it is also transmitted by saliva. And that indicates to me that we could be dealing with some type of GMO gain of function biowarfare agent, namely that it could jump. I don't know. I'm continuing to monitor the situation, see what I can. But under the circumstances, that's the best I can give you, Alex.
Dr. Boyle, I just read the news every day. Some days upwards of 200 news articles I scan over. And some of the things I obsess on are MIT. I remember 20 years ago reading in an MIT magazine at the University of Texas at the library about growing embryos, and they were implanting them in cows, and that they were breeding a line of cows that were part human so that the cows wouldn't reject it. And then, of course, a few years later, China started producing cows that produce human milk in their udders. And, of course, they can have goats that are, part spider and produce body armor. I'm giving examples of stuff that's known to be 20, 25 years old. Now they come out 2 weeks ago and go, oh, we're doing it in pigs and sheep now, and, producing, well, they're actually producing humanoids, and then they can grow the organs up bigger in them, and they're now going mainline with it. So there's something 20, 30 years old that I talk about, and they have mainstream media then do articles making fun of me saying I'm crazy and claim that humanoids are being grown in cows. Doesn't matter if I have 3 MIT articles this year in the last month. Doesn't matter. It's like the public that's informed knows, but they're scientific, maybe 1%, 2%. The general public just thinks it's X-Files. I mean, the episode of X-Files on Monday was human-animal chimeras. And so it's the X-Files. Now it's a joke. And so you see the psyop of the establishment. I remember with the HPV vaccine and all the rest of it, but that simulant flu shot 6 years ago, which they later admitted was a simulant of the virus put out a year before. I mean, they are engaged in biological testing. You know about the U.S. code where it was authorized for any law enforcement or research purpose. We all know about Tuskegee. I'm giving just well-known examples. There's thousands of admitted radiating little children to death. Other countries do it. There's a mad scientist guild, it seems. Russia did it too, that actually get off on this. We know we brought the rat line over here after World War II from Germany. You have written, the major global treaties. You know the people. You went to the top schools in Chicago, and for folks that don't know, and on Kissinger and all of it. You were being groomed to be one of them. For new viewers, I just have to add that to your pedigree. What is it with the, on Kissinger and all of it? You were being groomed to be one of them. For new viewers, I just have to add that to your pedigree. What is it with these people? It's not just population reduction. They're clearly running all sorts of weird bio operations against us. It's horrible. Cancer and all this other stuff is exploding. From your expert, wider analysis, what does this warfare operation look like to you, or are they still in a mass testing phase? What's the end game? And then what do we do about Zika? Obviously, nobody should go down south. Instead, our borders are wide open. I mean, they're just bringing in people with drug-immune TB. What is the end game here of diseasing the whole world?
Well, you've raised an awful lot of issues there.
Yes,
let me just say that even Professor Chomsky, who is on the faculty at MIT, has publicly stated that basically MIT is a front organization for the Pentagon, and most of its money comes from the Pentagon. In the case of biowarfare, we know for the fact that the Harvard-MIT Broad Institute helped set off the Black West African Ebola campaign, pandemic. With some type of GMO'd biowarfare organism over there, and then tried to cover it up with an article in Science magazine that I publicly debunked in 15 minutes.
Sure, it's just like them now saying that ISIS built its own Stinger missiles, and at the bottom of the article it said they got them from the U.S. It's like, this weaponized thing just appears, this Stinger missile just appeared, this Zika just appeared. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, that's correct. I've added it all up, and the United States government has spent $100 billion, $100 billion at least, on researching biological weapons since 9/11/2001. Now, to give you an example, in constant dollars, the Manhattan Project to develop the atom bomb costs $40 billion. So we're already over twice, 2.5 times as much. So it's clear that the United States government is running an offensive biological warfare program.
Yeah, this is the cutting edge. May I tell you? Believe you me. You're not going to hear this on the radio station, you know. We are examining this new thing, what them I tell you about now. This GMO mosquito. This GMO mosquito that them let go. And when I hear the government and tell the people, them say, don't travel to South America. If you do the South America, them tell you, say, it gone out of proportion, you know. You know, all right, the time is 12 o'clock. We could deal with this, 12 o'clock.
Brothers and sisters, this is Chalice. Join us with respect for our national anthem. Let us stand and defend this wise. Peace and love. Thank you.
Well, I tell you, the thing I get warm inside that. So, all right. I don't remember. I have a little friend, a little lady friend in St. Thomas there. She always call me. Everybody hear her on the other program. She don't usually call her program. She call Stepping Rays. I should say, when the Chick V was just come out, a plane did crash in St. Thomas, where them couldn't find the people them who in the plane. And you could have deal. You couldn't tell the people them at St. Thomas say another plane that carry the Chick V come here. You could have deal. All my little friend there. Anytime she called, she said, then Mutai doesn't say the plane bring the Chick V come here. So, and one excitement. Well, here one now. You know why you one, you know? Listen to this. The Jamaica, and that sister just called me and tell me about this, you know. I'm going to go dig it up. The Jamaica Defense Force, JDF, has deployed aircraft and boats in a search of the southern coast of Jamaica after reports today that a plane crashed into the sea. Both the police and the army confirmed that residents reported seeing a plane go down and bursting into flames. The report was made sometime between 2 and 3 p.m. No other detail is available at this time. The Jamaica Defense Force deployed aerial and maritime assets in a major search which is underway to determine what may have happened. No, you are no military people. You better fight and play them fast, you know. You better fight and play them fast, you know, because what you know. You see, Jamaican people love conspiracy theory. And I said, same like how me couldn't convince nobody at St. Thomas say another plane that carry Chick Vigo at St. Thomas. You better find a plane in St. Elizabeth quick. You better find the plane quick. Okay, me just tell you that, you know, because Jamaican people, we not easy. We not easy. Because the sister will call me, you know. The sister call me, you know. I make sure I make the link with the plane crash before the Chick V start to bust out in a St. Thomas. With this plane will crash today in a St. Elizabeth. All right. So, me just ask the Defense Force, you better find that plane fast and tell me where in the plane. I'll tell you where in the plane. All right, we'll go back to this vibes, you know, with this man who talk about biological and chemical war.
And is running an offensive biological warfare program. Indeed, it goes back at least to the Reagan administration, as I documented in my book.
It's mega massive, it's underground, and what do you think its goals are?
Well, I think we're seeing it with respect to the Black West African Ebola pandemic.
Top control, destabilization?
Now the Latin American Zika pandemic against blacks and browns down there. This is population control and reduction.
Is it in the sectors because it's more equatorial and the viral spread, or is it, you're saying race-specific, that it's more effective in preliminary research against people with dominant bloodlines?
Well, I'm not saying it is race-specific, this GMO organism, but rather
targeted racially specific.
They are using Ebola and Zika against people of color in third world countries.
Yes,
and this goes all the way back to the Nixon-Kissinger infamous National Security Directive, saying
in fact, wasn't that 200? We can put it on screen. And we've got the Kissinger.
I can't recall the exact number.
Yes, the Kissinger population control memorandum, and then we also have Dick Cheney in the PNAC document, in the Austin American Statesman, calling for the legitimization of using race-specific bioweapons.
That's correct, and I believe. So I'm not saying that the Zika virus or the Ebola virus was race-specific, but genetically engineered to be race-specific. But both have been used against people of color, blacks in Africa, and browns. And, of course, we know there are a lot of blacks down in Latin America, especially in Brazil. And I believe this is what is going on, that these are being used for that purpose.
Yes, that is National Security Study Memorandum 200, National Security Council, Washington, D.C., code number 02506, April 24th, 1974, about a month and a half after I was born.
Right, and you also mentioned the outbreak of swine flu in Ukraine. There is a U.S. biowarfare facility there, and we know that swine flu is a genetically engineered triple chimera. So even President Putin and their new national security directive have publicly accused the United States government of waging biological warfare against them, and I believe that is a correct conclusion from what I can see, yes.
Well, sure, in Kissinger's memorandum, he says we can't have peace and free market breaking out in these countries. We've got to destabilize them, hurt them, poison them, ship our toxic waste there, bioweapon them. And that's why people say, why do you hate Henry Kissinger? Folks, we have their memorandums. They write books.
Let me point out, I deliberately went through the same PhD program at Harvard that produced Kissinger and Brzezinski before me. And they gave me Kissinger's old office at Harvard Center for International Affairs. So you have to understand I would say, Nazi mentality that people at Harvard had. I mean, let's look at President Obama. He was behind me at Harvard Law School, and Obama has the entire country being run by Harvard Law School mafia. You can have Samantha Power there, our problem from hell at the U.N., Czar Ron Klain.
Sure, they are the dominant breeding ground for the intelligentsia, and you were in the middle of their highest level, basically secret program. You've covered that before, and I want you to get back into it sometime in a whole show, but specifically, being around them, what percentage of them are eugenicists? I know the Chicago Business School is phase one fascism and Machiavelli, and then Hegelian dialectic being used for evil purposes, and then you go to Harvard and they give you the technicals and how the government really works. But I mean, what percentage do you think really understand just how murderous the ultimate plan is?
Well, you're correct. I went to the University of Chicago as an undergrad. I was top of my class there and graduated in 3 years and won the Sigma Xi Certificate of Merit and Prize in Biology. And then Harvard Law School and the Harvard PhD program. The brainwashing system is extremely effective. Mitt Romney, for example, back in those days we called him Will. He and I were 1Ls together at Harvard Law School. We took all of our first-year courses together. So it's exceedingly rare for people to come out of these elite programs and not to have been brainwashed along these lines. Again,
sure, it's also when the devil offers you all this power, like Albert Speer said, who was respected by people and wasn't really an evil guy overall. He said, look, when the devil's got his warm arm around you, he doesn't look like the devil. You know, when Hitler was putting his arm around him. And I think that's part of it is the elite comes and says, we want you to join us because you're smart and you're one of us. Most people go, okay.
That's correct. And the people who run this country are, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and all the rest of them. They understand full well that they need the brain power of middle class, lower class people. So they go out and get them wherever they can find them and effectively bribe them and say, well, here's some money, here's some power, but we want you to go out there and run the empire for us and do whatever dirty work you have to do. And again, the primary case in point is President Obama, who, again, both he and his wife were behind me at Harvard Law School. As a matter of fact, we even had the same jurisprudence teacher there, Roberto Unger, who was recently on the BBC and said, quote, Obama is a disaster, unquote. But Professor Unger, there weren't too many people like that at Harvard Law School when I was there. And since I left, it has moved far to the neocon right, where you have large...
What's the best way to describe it? Fascist?
Torture.
What's the best way to describe these people? Power-tripping, technocratic fascists? What's the best term?
Machiavellians, yes. This is university. I spent 10 years at the University of Chicago and Harvard, and it's basically brainwashing in Machiavellianism. As for the scientists, they're basically told there's really no ethical dimensions here to what you're doing. This is just science. It's a puzzle. And don't
they just tell them also, we have to have the most deadly thing in case somebody else makes it. We've got to know how to fight it.
That's correct. That's what the $100 billion that the U.S. government has spent.
BioShield.
Biological weapons is all about. And the trillions of dollars we have spent on nuclear weapons since the Manhattan Project.
It's madness. In the time we have left, sir, what is the best website, the best book? You've written so many books for folks to read. What's the latest?
Well, I gave an interview to Sherwood Ross, an investigative reporter, that I think I sent to your staff that updates my book. So if you get the book and that interview with Sherwood Ross I gave last fall before the Zika pandemic, that will pretty much bring everything up to date.
All right, we will post that article under this video.
Pandemic.
We will post
REFM, thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Take a ride, here comes a stagecoach. Whoa.
As we speak at this moment, you have men in the earth right now, in some laboratory and test out something to see how we can have a mass destruction of human beings. You have men who sit down in them big chair and a plan war. Them have man sit down in a chair now and figure out how to sell some weapon to some people when not used to weapon to kill them own set of people. I tell you, man. I tell you, man to man is so unjust. So unjust. So, we have said that the Zika is the thing, you know, and we hear from Brazil, over 1 million people. Them have other people in Colombia and all these places. We're not supposed to go to Africa because Ebola, even though it's 3 countries, they down the epidemic, terrible. But we don't hear them send out no one from Jamaica not to go to South America and Central America. Or on a lesser scale, Brazil, which is a big scale. So how come we not hear nobody tell you not to go to South America? I mean, I listen. How come we not hear nobody tell you said please don't venture to Brazil? Are the only people them on the tape that's a while ago I say, you know, travel to Central America and South America should be halted. Just like what them tell the people them say, kind of ease up half of the baby thing for the next year or two. And guess what? They might tell you now, say, you can't get it through sex and saliva. Why the people don't scare people doing a brethren? Because people that make the thing, you know. Make the thing. And you know the weirdest thing about it? Them have the antidote to stop the thing same time, you know. Yeah, man. Them have the antidote. Then tell me something now. Oh, so much thousands of people that are dead the other day. Just so. Like fly are dead. In a Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia. When last year of Ebola death, you tell me the disease just stopped suddenly so bluff. And we know, and we understand right now. So chickpeas still are old people. In a Jamaica, yeah, after we not hear about no more chickpea, but we still hear about chickpea are old people on here, so. So the Ebola just gone, so doof, rap, beef, bap, that's the end of that. Next disease. Me I tell you, man, me I tell you. So we have to start to figure out something. When we hear all them things, we have to figure out something, you know. We have to figure it out fast too. Yeah, man, we have to figure it because it's a war. And we have to practice the art of war. You understand? It's a serious thing. Serious thing. Dennis Brown. As she first they tell me about the plane, St. Thomas say, the plane bring the chick V come here, the plane crash and nobody couldn't find it. Now we are here now, say a plane crash right on the cusp of this next mosquito, a plane crash in St. Elizabeth today. Them still look for the plane. Sir, may I tell you?
Hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Greetings, how are you?
Wait, yeah. All right, you get to it. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, so this, yes. I want to tell these people that this is the sister that is keeping the wellness festival in Ghana next week.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. Me and Dr. Aris Latham are sitting here right now.
Wait, hold on. Aris up there already?
Aris is already here. He's been here 2 days.
You're serious?
Hi, Aris.
Aris.
Greetings, Muta.
Aris! No, well, you know easy.
Yeah, man.
No.
Yeah, just coming from Panama, man.
You there Accra already, Bridget?
Yeah, man, I'm on tour. I'm on the tour package, man, enjoying the sounds and sights and everything, you know.
So let me ask you something now. You find the ingredients them, you start looking. You find ingredients in Accra, in Ghana there, like what you need for doing.
Oh, yeah, man. We're lining up for the cashew cheese and we even find some ackee.
You find ackee?
Yeah.
Tell me
man,
because
some ackee right by what is it? Dubois house there.
Tell me now because me will bring some to you know. Me will bring some.
Yeah, man, bring some. That would be excellent.
Me ever bring some, man. Oh, believe you me never know say I reach their garden already, man. We're glad to hear your voice. When you say you're dead, man, I feel like say yes. My food problem solved right away. Even though I never used to have a problem.
Of course.
Yes. We could talk about the data.
Yeah, you see you didn't believe me, huh?
No, I never said me not believe you. Be as you said, man, I could not believe you. Iris dead, man. But why I tell you the truth, you don't know, it come like heaven to me, you know, when me hear Iris voice.
Yes. I see. It's going to be real nice having y'all together.
All right. So when the festival start, actually, tell me when the festival start.
Actually, we started. As you can see, we started with starting with a tour. February 12th, we did the opening ceremonies of the African Culture and Wellness Festival.
No. Tell the people them is which part. Wait, hold on. Tell the people them is which part they are now. Where we are talking about. Tell me what we are talking about. Where we talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about the African Culture and Wellness Festival. This is a festival, the third year here in Ghana. We're having it at the Aburi Botanical Gardens in the eastern region of Ghana. A beautiful garden that was done by our great Kwame Nkrumah back in the day. And it's going to be a festival that's come together as a platform to bring Africans from the diaspora and the continental Africans together on the highest vibration possible, which is through eating high-frequency food, plant-based diet in its raw form, and then also bringing about the African pride or the culture, and taking pride in our history and what we are, and also are we going to lift everybody to a higher standard, so we can be able to come together and work out our problems and get to know each other. We don't know a lot about each other as far as the continental African. And diasporan African. So, and what we've been told about each other are pretty much lies. So we're coming together to squash all of that and just give everybody, information about, our past leaders like Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X. And,
so you have tours coming in next week. You have tours from different parts. I know you originally from California. I come from, right?
I'm originally from LA, straight out of Compton. My father is a.
No, what I'm saying,
my father is a natural healer, and we started a business called New Body Products, which is the main sponsor of this festival.
Okay.
In 1976, and I moved to Atlanta when I was like 22. I stayed there for 20 years or so.
Okay.
And I moved to Ghana 9 years ago. So I've been here for 9 years in the motherland, repatriate.
All right, so tell me what. All right, no. So tell me next week what happen now, day to day. Tell me, because I'm very excited.
Okay, so
when I hear Iris over this.
So now we're doing it. We're touring right now.
Hello. No, them can't do that to me. I like it. I cut it out. I drop the car, drop. No, my vex. I know my call back, believe you me. Sister, you fall on half of the call back, please call back. Anyway, the sister talk about a festival where I going to take place in, where she said starts already, and specially invited guests. Iris, Iris is the Sun Ra man, the ultimate Sun Ra food man. And Mutabaruka is the special guest at this festival in Accra, Ghana. And this, as the sister said, it started already. It started already, and we don't reach yet, and it started already. It started without me. But you could have deal. I have reached there, you understand? So, yes, that's taking place in Ghana. And it going to cover a whole heap of things, because sister, as you hear she talk about, her father is a healer. Them have a line of products there. I tell you, line of products. I get ready for my Reiki and my massage and all of my therapy there in Africa there. Yes. Okay, so see if she can call back. Meanwhile, we are waiting for her. We're playing Dennis Brown. I think this is the first tune Dennis Brown do, I think it's Derek Harriott produced that tune. Yeah?
Yes.
You get. All right, before.
Oh, sorry, the African connection,
Yeah.
They
All
don't
right.
like it.
All right. So tell us how day to day we're going on, as I say. Tell me what I want.
Yeah, I don't know where I got cut off, but we have the opening ceremonies to start the festival on Friday the 12th, featuring Vegan All-Star of the Year, Dr. Aris Pham, and featuring his cuisine. He'll be our keynote speaker, telling us how to live, as our theme says, on a high-frequency level, high-frequency living. And we'll have entertainment, poetry. We'll have some dynamic speakers on Pan-Africanism and health and wellness. And then the next day we have the festival. The festival will take place from 9 a.m. to 12 midnight, starting with Kemetic yoga. And we'll also have like African martial arts, which most people know from Brazil, capoeira. And it'll be a lot of different workshops on traditional medicine, dealing with herbal ways of healing, natural ways of healing, natural ways of taking care of your hair and skin and getting away from these have like African martial arts, which most people know from Brazil, capoeira. And it'll be a lot of different workshops on traditional medicine, dealing with herbal ways of healing, natural ways of healing, natural ways of taking care of your hair and skin and getting away from these chemicals and these perms and all these things. We've been talking about Aris, because a lot of people don't know of him, and just the response from that as well, it's just been phenomenal, because people are just, even non-vegetarians are just like, who is this man? Like, how does he look like that, and how, what is he doing? How did he run marathons and all this stuff that this woman is talking about? So, just between you and him, it's just been, I don't know, just the response is so positive. So many people coming on board, big name artists here for free, and all of our artists are vegetarian. Every last artist that we have are vegetarian, because we want them to push the whole high living and plant-based diet and healthy diet. So a lot are coming on free. They just want to be on stage with Muta. And it's just like, just get me on stage. Just give me, even if it's 10 minutes, just get me on stage. And Muta, just to let you know, we have one of the last poets that's going to be there. David Nelson, I'm not sure your name. And then we also have the #1 pianist in all of Africa that was just awarded last week. #1 pianist. His name is Opoku. And we have, and he also had best live recording band.
Where's he from? Where's he from?
That's a serious feat.
Where's he from?
Serious. And
where's he from?
He's from Ghana.
Okay.
He's here from Ghana.
Look forward to that.
Yes. And he did just last week, all of Africa, which is saying a lot. That's bigger than a Grammy in America. As many musicians as we have in Africa, there's one man who me and a friend went to go help when he was in the hospital because he was too young, had a stroke. And when we went to visit him, I said, the only thing you need to do is just become vegetarian. My friend had been talking to him for a while, and then he said, okay, that's what I'm doing. And as soon as he came out the hospital, that's it. He went vegetarian.
So he was
able to call and say, can I be on stage? I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah, so he will be on the same night when I am doing my thing. He'll be the same night?
Yeah, he'll be there that night. So we have the concert, the workshop, and all the expos, the African Marketplace Expo, and Healers Village, Vegan All-Star Food Court, and Natural African Beauty Expo. That's during the day. And then at night is a regeneration concert. And that's where you come in, Muta. That's where you start to wake up and start to and move the crowd to the highest frequency. So when we come into the park, I'm sorry.
No, you have trips from California down there, are coming down there, or at work. Yeah. We do have one person as far as one of our tourists that's come from LA.
that's part of the tour. So we have another sister that just came in from Thailand, but she's originally from Virginia. So she just heard about the festival and she just jumped on the plane and came to Ghana. So I'm coming to the festival, and then after the festival, I need an apartment. And we just got her out the airport. She just jumped into the tour, and it was so funny. Everybody that's on this tour, they just sink in. I mean, it's really a high frequency.
Van. All right,
that we move it around in.
We are confronted here in Jamaica with a new strain of disease and all from some GMO mosquito that them unleashed on the people them. I know that last September, me and Tony Rebel is down there. The brethren them, including yourself, as well and them man there, on other a movement, including Kwame Nkrumah's daughter. What's your name again? Kwame Nkrumah.
Sami Nkrumah. Unfortunately, she just lost the seat for the CPP, but
she lose it.
She's still in it.
All right, I know that
she lost it to a good brother. So it's
all right, she was all right. What I know it was moving towards sensitizing Ghanaians and the government on this GMO thing. How far that reach?
That's the food sovereignty of Ghana and CPP and the Vegetarian Association of Ghana. We took the Ministry of Agriculture and scientific research to court as a citation for doing unlawful field trials of GMO, genetically modified organisms, food that is not really food. Orange with fish genes, or tomatoes with fish genes inside, or bananas with pork genes inside. So and seeds that don't regenerate, killer seeds. So they're trying to, it's already, of course, already on the grounds because, the borders are porous and things come inside that doesn't need to be here. And, there's just a lot of corruption behind it because there's so much money that's going to be made on people pushing GMO in their country. Already, 28 of the UN countries have banned it.
Yes.
And even a few, even South Africa have been working on banning it. They had uproar in, Burkina Faso, because it was killing their cows. It was doing this cottonseed, GMO cottonseed.
Yes.
And, it was killing their cows because that's what they, feed their cows.
I'm very glad that African countries is waking up to it, because we would have feel, say, the African them are starved so much that they would need some form of nutritional food.
No, it's not nothing about that. It's all about the money. As far as Ghana itself, and I've been living here 9 years, there's too much food. We waste food here.
Yeah, it's that much.
And if you look at how plentiful Africa is, that's one of the biggest lies, that Africa is starving. We have so much food here. We don't know what to do.
Yes. And
even they got us believing the lie. So people would rather go eat, their fish and their local starch banku than to go eat a mango and a pineapple and things like that. They just rather sell it.
The sweetest pineapple,
as just merchandise.
All right. So we look forward to it. We definitely look forward to it. And as we say, Iris knows, anytime you see Iris, me not stop eating, So Iris, I feel no say.
You say after Iris, you stop eating?
No, I don't stop eat. Anytime I amongst Iris, I don't stop eat at all.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm drinking on a nice smoothie he just made just for me to make. You can't help it.
Yeah, what I'm very interested in, if you say how we use the Ghanaian foods for prepare raw food. I'm really interested to see how I'm going to do that, I
think we're going to do a plantain. That's going to be one thing I know. That's Ghanaian and eating plantain here. And I know one of the dishes will be, plantain was from Ghanaian spices.
We know the plantain already. Look here.
Yeah, we're doing some little experimenting over here.
Shadika, we know the plantain already. We don't want to talk about something where we know already. I talk about things that we don't have in Jamaica where they are Ghana, where I think them can use to prepare this raw food. And I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously.
So we met up on some interesting. Thing like the
food, and I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously.
So
food, and I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously. Food, and I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously. Food, and I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously. Food, and I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously. Food, and I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously. food, and I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour, and I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously. Food, and I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour, and I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously. Food, and I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour, and I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously. Food, and I'm very interested to see the indigenous things them in Ghana that Irish will use to prepare food. I'm very interested in that. So
yeah, well, that's why I'm moving around on the tour, and I'm collecting things now. I'm looking to see what's available.
Indigenously. Yes, cutting edge. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Isaac. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Cutting edge. I go on.
Yeah, man. All right. Before we even go no further.
No. Wait, you sound like you're going to stay long. You can't stay long enough.
No, man.
All right, go on then.
Yeah, man. I could have getting it. But I have to say this, though, because this is a respect level where he's a elder where from me and you may listen. Even if I'm in a house or somewhere in a shop somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
And he's got this elder where the man always listen to you, and every time after the show, me hear my chant. You know what I mean? And my chant and I burn something. Certain things I don't really want to say over the year, but I burn something till one at a time I say, you know, burn mind control and new world order. I'm always like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, other people hear me and laugh off.
Say I'm a madman.
But yes, I'm a mad, Mr. Vivian, a madman. I used to sell him bread, in fresh bread at the front, him ride him bicycle, buy him bread and sell him banana and bread.
Yeah.
So my mother and my grandmother used to send me my buy quarter of bread, half a bread. I Mutabaruka, back in that day, back then time the show used to come on every night, right?
No, every night it come on, and one time a week it usually come on.
Well, him always listen and tape and listen and
yeah.
So, me, you know, left Jamaica, reach America, and the first day I come to New York is like, I see a whole different ball game. Cause you know when you're a youth, you know, enough things you see when you're born and get to, you know, and you know right from wrong. And if me I live today, obviously I choose my right decision them from the wrong one, them could have made me end up in a prison or
Yeah.
So, me, you know, I start do some research on this mind control thing, and I end up in a one thing called Illuminati, where me I get to find out, say, the whole America, my lord, is a destruct. It is a destruct to the whole society and the world. Everything as evil, America, it has started from, you know, and it can branch off back and try to manipulate every other aspect of the world, you know.
Yeah.
Because 98% of the music industry in America is Illuminati. And there are so many video clips. I mean, even I think before me even call them, I said, I want to send Neil a video clip off of YouTube to make me even open to the eye more. Because something we are going by and even the Drake, the way you see as the rapper, will come and a friend of ours.
Yeah, but Bridget, hold on, let me tell you something. You see them Illuminati and them something there, I a cutting edge people did hear that pan in Jamaica where them see like how you talk about everybody did that to that bridge in them mad.
Yes.
When we introduce them things upon Jamaican radio, people start tell them people say, no, listen to the mad boy upon the radio, you know. And we come on and tell the people them about Rothschild and Illuminati and all these things. So I mean, in the early 90s when we just start the program. You see it, so it's that thing I know. So you know them really, I don't say it go. That's where it go.
You see this thing as well. The TV, my lad.
Yeah. Tell live, John.
The wickedest mass destruction in our society.
And it's in your house. It's in your house too. Tell live, John.
I tell you, say, even when I grew up, I'm a 30-year-old now. You know, from my youth, I grew up, I tell you, from 11, 12. When I use like TV, I'm in a like stay in a house. I always got much beat and I get to that road.
Yeah, but you have to ride over that still, you know, because you can't look at the TV and don't make it control you, man.
Alright, let me tell you something before.
No, but you know, you know, say, you know, say another man wait for you.
Yeah, man, quick. Before you, but me just want to get that knowledge out there quick. Anyhow you turn on the TV. No, just turn on the TV and mute it. And put it on a cartoon station, a Nickelodeon, and watch that. And just watch it. You're not hear nothing, you know.
Yeah.
If you see the amount of Illuminati thing where them show the little youth them nowadays, that tell you them must do and all them back of destructive things.
Hidden messages. Hidden messages.
Dangerous, man.
Alright, wrap a move, brethren. Wrap a move. Yeah, wrap a move.
For the hearing,
yeah, give thanks. Yes, EL.
Yes, King.
Blessed man. Oh gosh, man. Joshua, man.
Blessed be to you.
Joshua.
Yes, King, man.
May I forget your number tonight, you know. Believe you me, a man a run me down. I don't know. If I don't get your number, I'm going to come on my yard, come box me down.
No, I don't want him to do that.
Yeah, so you have to give me the number.
Yeah, me will give it. But if me hear you touch some good point. You see those tape where you play?
Yeah, but the Zika thing.
Yes, that's some serious
terrible thing, man. Terrible things.
Muta, let me tell you something, brethren. Then say, it's only upon your program, certain program, really revealed to the nation.
Them now go play on another radio station.
Which is a high hope to many people of the nation.
Them now go play on another radio station.
No, they now go because when me tell people, you know, me I do certain research, you know, brethren. When told me with HIV in New York, you know, in 2002 when we see a movie on HBO named The AIDS Maker.
Yes.
And when me sit down and I watch the movie, I see the man take a thing from a lab and send it to one next place. And tell a man said worth millions. And I said, what? So when we start do some research, we find one man named Dr. Robert Gallo, who created the AIDS virus in a lab in the United States with the French government.
From the 90s, we play them something to the people. Believe me.
Poland, Denmark, Belgium, and those people know it called New World Order.
Yes.
It's a population control.
Yeah.
Now this V virus don't we
population control again. Yeah.
This is the dangerous part now. Them say, then test you for HIV through your saliva also. But still they tell you you cannot catch HIV through saliva.
Yeah.
But now the Zika is going through both sex and saliva.
Yes, I like them I say.
Dangerous.
I like them I say.
Good. And again, what people have to understand, Muta, the human being body, so the time that was testing it, the body do not develop an immunity to this virus yet. So what people have to do now is take serious precaution in building their body immune system.
All right, hold on. You know, so we can't go through the long thing and write us on now.
Believe the long thing.
We don't hold on. I want your number. Your number we want.
The number?
Yes.
The digital number is 559-1303. Which is 559-1303.
That's a which number? The digital number?
Digital. Line number 784-8048.
48. All right. Hear what I say now. Call me back tomorrow.
All right. Love is life.
Yeah, blessed man.
Blessed.
Yes. That is King Joshua. And anytime we start talking about the antidote for these things, you know, so it's another long time and that. Another long time. Okay, click it. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, Muta.
Yeah, blessed.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Muta, can I get a copy of that CD that you played regarding the Zika and how we can get it?
No, it's not a CD me play now. It's a news report. I don't have no CDI. There's a news report. I come off of the internet.
Because I'm listening for you before the start of the program.
Yeah.
Is it humanly possible that we could get something from it? Please.
All right. You use computer?
Yeah, man.
All right. You just go on YouTube, man, and put ZikV in there, man. And you'll see a whole heap of things like that come up.
But listen, man, that $100 billion with the United States.
Oh, the one they are talking about.
Yeah,
the
man,
one. The one they. All right, I can tell you where the brother, him name. All right, I can find it for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to find it and tell you for the year. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, blessed man. All right. Yes. EL, speak. You know, talk. All right, going on.
Yeah, Muta.
Yeah. All right.
Muta.
Yes, sir.
Muta. Oh,
yeah, man. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, man, and me just call, but me think you cut me out because I did finish talking, and me just did a reason within the next session that, on the same level. So, no disrespect as I say, you know what I mean?
All right, sir.
Yeah, because you already cut me out, so...
No, through the advertisement, them the dead for play, I never want...
I'm still hear myself too, so I say, wow,
because I never cut you, because I never cut you, I don't take you off of the ear.
Okay.
That's why you hear the thing, because it's not cut you. If it cut you off, you would not hear me.
Okay.
All right.
Well, the first time I come, I never
all right, so you have something else to say?
Yes, man. What me I say now, again, this television for the youth, them.
No, but nobody talk the same thing where you don't talk. Wait, no, man. You talk about the same thing where you just talk about a while ago, man. I don't want to hear it again, man.
No, but that's something else. You
talk about the subliminal message where the television are give the youth them in the cartoon them. Yeah, me hear that.
The youth them is better than take up a book, and go watch a documentary.
Yeah.
You understand? And make sure so when you not do them things, that you have an open mind and choose wisely. Because the moment you go believe and depend, and madness in matter, and the whole of the madness knowledge, they are the real knowledge.
Yeah.
We don't have to focus on.
And you can't find yourself saying madness. That means that's what you have to think about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think about. Because remember, when we know as me as a madman grew up in my community, me always see them look the same, and if me and you go eat out a rich man, they will drop down and dead. Yeah. So you see a madman and even know where what kind of substance he might live off or so.
Yeah.
More time it's good for us notice the unnoticed, basically what me I say,
Yeah, man. Give thanks,
and stop notice the whole barrage same thing where coming
we're blatant in front of you, sometimes it's not the real thing. The thing that you can't see sometimes is not the real thing. All right, Bridget, give thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yes. All right. The thing when the man just asked me a while ago when to look for it name. Zika is biowarfare. It named Zika. It's biowarfare. That is what it means. Zika is biowarfare. So you look for that on the YouTube. I will show me a top.
The first time I made eyes at you.
Yes. Cutting edge. Blessed.
Mutabaruka.
Yes, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Listen, man, it's years. I am 71 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yeah.
A long time you have this here, brother.
All right.
He's the only man at Jonestown me born and grow.
At Jonestown me grow too, but me never born, but I get me grow.
Good. You know a long time. You're the only man. And a man, a little Rasta man used to come at the corner of Price Street, come beat a drum. Then Ebert was a Gaviite. And that's how I hear about Africa in a virgin. And that's how I because I never used to hear about Africa Kingston Senior School. Or Chatola Park School. You listen me?
Yeah, I listen.
I never used to hear about Africa. But there's certain things you have put out. Brother, just keep it up. You hear me, brother?
Yeah, man, I listen. Give thanks, brother.
Just keep it up. All right, my brother.
Yeah, blessed, man. Blessed.
Bless.
Yes. EL.
Feel Rastafari.
Aye.
Yes, Moto. You do, man.
Good day, man.
Yeah, man. It's a joy, and you don't know a Black History Month and the Reggae Month. Yeah, so you don't know how to call in and bless it,
All right.
within the Black History Month, there is something that the listeners them always learn. That's why, cutting edge program also.
Well, we have Black History Month every month of the year, Cutting edge of Black History Month every month.
All right, for real. But I talk from the perspective of how them this February month as a Black History Month in the society,
And not them, it's a black man do it.
It's a black man do it.
Yeah, it was Black History Week and then they make it into Black History Month. In England, Black History Month is October.
Yes, Muta.
Yeah.
First, I have to say, all listeners them. I saw about two will performing on the Herald Donkey birthday and party by Randy William Entertainment Center this Saturday. So I like all of my fans to turn out. We'll be getting a nice show there.
All right.
And, I have to say this, Muta, strategically, I get to find out that is a heartless situation that take place out there. I know the I call it, in which enough people who we see that's supposed to defend truths and rights, them is embracing negativity and then use it strategically to try to condemn enough righteous people or enough people who are moving at the right way and get them to be corrupt and turn a hypocrite. So I have to tell the people them, beware of some people that trying to do certain negative thing and want to embrace them.
Like what kind of negative thing they want do? Like what kind of negative thing?
Alright, like for instance, just I give the simple explanation. Like when time now, I don't talk, you have some people that say, and they'll call you now, who's the one talk, and all the while in call your program. Up to the foolishness in talk, and they have to say, then which foolishness you talk. All the youth are trying to tell you that you have enough people in society and in the system right now who be supposed to look up to, that who setting the trend of equal rights and justice for each one. But when you check a stat, them same people, them not doing that. Them won't come in on TV or in the media or go on like them stand for that. But you see it, be a negative thing them embrace.
May I ask you a question, like what negative thing them do? What negative thing them embrace?
Well, the truth you don't want to go specific.
No, me not talk about specific. Wait, no, me not even call a name, Me say, what negativity them embrace? Don't tell me the name of the person who embrace it.
Alright, clarify it now.
Yeah.
When we say negative thing, Motor, we just deal with overall.
Yeah, I know. Brethren, you're going to get excited with you, Me ask you a question, that simple thing. You say, you have some people in the business where embrace negativity. Me ask you, like, for instance, like what? What is the thing that they embrace that is negative to you? Tell me.
That is negative to me.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to tell you one little situation.
Then that me ask you, how you keep repeating it. Don't tell me the thing, no man. I thought you're going to tell me, you're going to tell me.
Yeah. When time you see how them treat them brother, where you see them not showing them brother no love, and how you see how them not showing them brother no love, them go on like say them is with them brother, but them not doing nothing to stand the unity, to stand the equal rights with each other so we can move forward. So we have to tell the people them to beware of them people there. But yes, them look like them hopeful, but them not hopeful, them embracing negativity.
All right, Bridget.
Rastafari.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay. McQuay. Next Dennis Brown I work with, I know. Yes,
El Muta.
Blessed man.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, love the Dennis Brown and where you play, because we know Dennis Earth Strong anniversary the first, and Bob this coming Saturday, and Liquorai is later this February too, the 25th of February.
Derek Harriet at the 6th too.
Derek Harriet at the 6th, no?
Yeah, and when late Bridget from Third World,
singer man, Bonnie Ruggs.
Bonnie Ruggs at the 6th too, yeah.
Yes, so I'm with Derek Harriet and Bob. And Leroy Sibbles of the Eptones was Saturday, the 30th of January, was his Earth Strong. Yeah. And on Saturday the 30th, Leroy Sibbles' birthday anniversary, I want to say special congrats to the bravest African head of state in the world today. We are carrying on the Marcus Garvey message, President Mugabe, because in handing over because I want to get a copy of the speech that he made.
Yeah, we have it, man.
Where he was. Oh, you have it?
Yeah,
yes.
Man. Yeah, man.
Giving a standing. Yes, man. Giving a standing ovation by his peers, and quite rightly denouncing the fact that we as African people have no permanent representation on the so-called UN Security Council. That Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General, squirmed in his seat when President Mugabe said, we have asked as Africans for Security Council reform, and we are tired of making hollow speeches at the UN with no results. And he said that we Africans are not real members of the so-called UN, because only those with white skins were members and decided what is going to happen. Yeah. And that if the UN is to survive, we Africans must be equal members in it, which he said to loud applause.
Yeah. All right, you know, you see, a whole heap of one day behind you there, brethren. Believe you me. Would I like go on?
All right, well, let me say this
credit I got done. Them credit I got done.
All right, well, let me just say this finally then, in consideration of that. The thing is that despite the efforts of the Europeans in the States and Britain and so to overthrow President Mugabe and ZANU-PF, they have failed because they maintain the revolutionary stance that these racist Europeans cannot be trusted. So we always have to be vigilant against them. And I love how him denounce Obama for doing nothing for African people.
Yeah, all right, give
African people worse off under Obama.
All right.
So keep on doing the good work. And when you get time, play the President Mugabe speech.
All right, yeah, blessed. Yes, EL. Yeah, blessed.
Hey, Muta, blessed. All good?
Yeah, man, everything nice, man.
Yeah, man. Long time I call there. I still, we used to buy cassette from you when they are here still.
Okay, where you call from? Where you call from?
Florida.
A pure foreign call me get since tonight, I know. Believe you, a pure foreign call me I get. I tell you, all Africa me just get called a while ago. And the one before you land, England them a call from.
Oh, okay. Long time ago. Yeah, the thing is, Muta, listening to you over the years, I kind of say, you don't really want to pull the rug out from on our foot straight up still, you see what I mean? But why you feel say black people and brown color people know the danger? Them hear about the danger and see the danger. But
and still walking at the danger?
Them still walking at the danger.
I know every black people still, you know, because the president talk about the speech of Mugabe make a while ago there. I mean, you know, they think that, but I know, I mean, it might look, yeah. With the way behind till, I still try to figure it out too. I still try to figure out why a man that say, fire over this and walk in it.
Yeah. And the things that, I know, I say, if, because as I say, most of the tapes I'm listening to you over the years and things, I kind of say, well, because of them blackout from the Egyptian situation, most of them things are extraterrestrial things there. So then blackout knowledge.
The African, them blackout, the African. Yeah. All right, Bridget. Give thanks.
All right, I'm blessed. Thank you very much for everything I do still. And continue with the work on the...
No, we can't stop. Our life, man, we can't stop. We don't know nothing else to do about this. I mean, I said this, I don't mean pan the radio. I mean how we live. You know what I mean? And where we say. All right, give thanks. Yes, that's a serious thing. We don't know if we behave different. We refuse to behave any different.
Muta.
Blessed man.
You heard quick on the Malvern Tabernacle, you know?
Yeah.
The man will just make the trumpet, you know, towards the architect, them and the builder, them out there, you know, because we want to get the temple put up forward again, you know, like the monument, them run it, to go through a bushfire, you know?
Yeah, all right.
So we just call out upon the family, them out there, you know, say just, like I not and do what to do, you know, because 50-year visit Her Majesty of Jamaica, you know, Muta.
Yeah.
So I go on out there with the modify world and the Zika and the mosquito war and them things. So Rastafari for a war, you know, Rastafari I 50 years.
Yeah, all right, bless him.
Yes, I just love Muta. Rastafari. I say tabernacle, my place. I don't know, say why. I have to put together again, you know.
All right, tell people every part of Tabernacle you're talking about. Malvern Tabernacle.
Malvern Tabernacle.
All right. And you want some help again?
Yes, I.
All right.
Yes, I.
All right.
Right now, you have to put together again, you know, and get it up and running, you know.
Yeah, all right. Him say that, the bridge say that, earthquake just said that a while ago. So you don't have to say it again.
Aye.
The ones them here. Here, Bridget, give thanks.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Yeah.
Yes, Bridget.
Yeah, Ailey.
Yeah, man. About the virus of Babylon next, kill the population.
Me no hear you.
How we can get this message across to people of Jamaica to educate them more?
Bridget, oh, you asked me something so obvious. That me just do a while ago to get the thing across. And you asked me how me can get it across. Me I get it across by putting it on the radio. That people listen to it. You can't come ask me again, how can you get the thing across that the people them can hear it? The people them might hear it because I put it on the radio. Me don't know where's me for know.
You see, alright now, for example, and the school them know, the local youth them know where I go to school and you know, in a greater form more. Them just scrape out some local place and say, I've got it. They never have no proper development. You understand? The houses them. So all the people them where follow the place. You know what I mean? Where them just eat something out of plastic and drop it in.
Yeah, but we for 2 weeks straight upon the stepping ways at that thing that we are confront that.
You ring it. The thing that ringing at some people, you know, I just say, you know.
But we just tell you, for 2 weeks we talk about that on the radio straight.
Yeah, the program and thing, man.
Yeah, so, you know, it's not like you say, oh, me I go get it across. Oh, we are going to get it across. Oh, you going to get it across. Tell me how you going to get it across.
You mean, you
on the radio?
Yeah, we try to encourage.
Which station you on? Which station? Eh?
What I say?
Which station you on?
I don't know the thing I do. You know, not around the area. Some little things. I don't really deal with fire. What I say is the same way how you use the radio program to encourage people.
Yeah.
You know, around my community.
So you encourage the people then? Okay. They're not a good man, a good something that.
Yeah, but they don't know them so much still.
Yeah, everybody mad.
It's take an intelligent one still.
Yeah. All right, Bridget.
Keep stepping.
Yeah, man. Give thanks. Okay. Stepping razor. Here we go. Yell. I had a phone call them. No, but Yell. All right, that man look like him. God left me. We are going. The food are busy. All right, Yell.
Hello, Muta.
Yeah, blessed.
Oh, yeah. There's a house in Jamaica they call Garden House, isn't it?
Yes.
What do they do in the South?
That is where the leaders of Jamaica sit, make law, break law, and decide what they're going to do in terms of governmental affairs.
Okay, so Garden House, they pass laws in Garden House, right?
Them do all sorts of things in a Garden House. Them break law, make law, everything.
Okay. Okay. I'm not going to bother to talk to you anymore.
So that's why you call me. That's why you call for ask what them in a Garden House.
Oh yes.
Which part you call from?
England.
You call from England, but ask me what them do in a Garden House.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Give thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Yes. That's strange. That's funny. The man call me to find out what them are doing in a Garden House. Yeah.
Yeah, Muta.
Blessed man.
A man named Edwin Black. Write a book named War Against the Weak. Yeah. And that book there point out a whole lot of different research. Right?
When book name?
Edwin Black.
Edwin Black.
Yeah. Named War Against the Weak. Yeah.
May I write it down? War Against the Weak.
Yeah. You see, up at the UWI campus,
yeah,
enough research was going up there, see?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't the UWI campus at times, it was the Mona Common. You see, even the research on the genetic
modified GMO, yeah.
No, I wouldn't. It was eugenics at the time.
Eugenics, yeah. No, eugenics is another thing still.
No. This guys don't come back as this thing I am talking about genetic research now. GMO. Come back as that. See? Them have a program up there on one time, you see? And the white man gonna eat the same food and me, the black man gonna eat the same food and him gonna live and me gonna dead. See? And that program was from in the 20s. God, them eugenics leave from Jamaica and go a Germany to Italy, you know. Yeah, Jamaica did the first run by the American them. And then it leave. England started, then America picked it up, then it reached Germany.
Okay.
See, and the program lasted up until September 11 in a motor. When no plane fly and everybody at our boat. Just terrorism. 6 of the scientists them attached to the program just mysteriously dead in a motor. Man all a fix car and car drop on him and them thing. They find man car up on bridge and all kind of things. And the way down the water all boat and them thing there. See, so the saga continue.
Yeah, definitely.
See, and enough of them people here come on the radio and the different stations, them man, where tell the thing about this, what them call it, the
Zika virus.
Yeah. Enough of these people are paid operative budget. See, I don't have no proof to that one still.
Yeah, alright. Well, you know what I talk things we don't have proof about. That's going to lead to conspiracy theory and we now work with the conspiracy theory.
No. Even the whole thing about conspiracy theory, you know, the argument that come out about in 1960, you know.
Yeah, but conspiracy theory no much wrong, you know. A theory no much necessarily something concerning.
All right. But the first time it was used is when Patrice Lumumba said the United Nations and the Belgian them and the American them try to kill him.
Yeah. Them say conspiracy theory. Yeah, no go so. And them really kill him. Yeah. All right, Bridget, give thanks.
Respect, Bridget.
Yeah, Eel.
Yo, Mota.
Yeah, blessed.
Mota.
Yeah.
This is DJ News Reporter.
This is who?
DJ News Reporter.
DJ News Reporter?
Yeah, never tune off again. It credit a chance. So every report could have call you back. So
no, me not call you back, you know. Me not call you back. Too much people there on the phone for you to call you back.
All right. Here we go. You hear me? It's not every...
No, hold on. Yo. We can't work with that right now, you know, Bridget. Too much people here sing tune. Yeah, where you call for sing?
Yes, man.
No, we can't deal with us singing that right now. Too much people there on the line for you to do that. Yes, Eel.
Uta.
Yeah.
Uta.
A time for everything, man. Yes, Bridget. Eel.
Uta.
Yeah, man. I listen to you, man.
Years, 1 year now, I'm not call the program.
1 year, but don't know. You must tell me if you not call 1 year now. You must tell me where I go on. Why you not call 1 year? Pato. All right. You see it now.
When I call say, mosquito is not the first modified insect will come to sex other insect, natural insect will kill them in a motor.
Yeah. So who did say was the first? Who said was the first?
You can't prove a fly in a motor.
No, but who said was the first one? Who said was the first?
No, but I eat them at talk, but no Twitter.
Yeah, but who said was the first? Who did say was the first?
No, me I say so. I'm not the one where the first one where we can prove, you know.
Okay.
Cause we can. And I don't know them inoculate St. Thomas we find it.
Why inoculate St. Thomas?
That type of world we call them. We are bringing them insect and them.
So they attack St. Thomas personally. They have something against St. Thomas personally.
Then when we find box of fly on seaside years ago, you know. Big red.
So what happened to that? What that mean?
Them say them when them sex will fly, them kill them, you know.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah.
Who
have sex with the fly them?
Sex, the fly them will find at the box have sex with the natural fly them around.
Oh, how happened? Them turn gear? Them get gear?
Them get what?
Me ask you, them turn gear?
No, we don't want, like how them say, when them...
So, you know, to the fly them at the box, they have flying outside, you know?
Or them have fly outside?
No, you know to them did have sex. You know to the fly them did have sex.
No, the one win at the box fire.
You know to them did have sex, that may I ask you?
Them say, we hear them say...
No, who's them?
General people.
People say?
Yeah.
All right, sir. People say a whole heap of things. You never hear say, a man come on up to the sky and sit down and wait for you to kill you if you do something wrong.
I come on, that's how we should have them.
Them call him Jesus.
Yeah, whole party can say about that man.
All right, we have to move now. We have to move. Yeah, all right, sir. Yes. No, go man. Yeah.
Good night.
Wagwan
Muta.
Coaching Edge.
The judge just call you back again a year later, you know?
Yeah, all right, give thanks, Richard.
So we man, I tell you, say, in Jamaica, this is Jamaica, man. Jamaica, everything creates from, you know?
What create? I mean everything create from Jamaica. Everything create from Jamaica.
Like me, I say, if there are 14 parishes in Jamaica, and we reach 14 and say, the fool has said, Jesus no come back again, you know? No,
me ask you, what you say everything create in Jamaica, what you mean when you say that?
Like me, I say, the fool say, still, I see, just a still, you know, there. When we reach 14, and still, attack you right now. Which
part of the Bible uses still attack to people? I don't understand.
No, me I say, like we say, Psalms 14 say, the fool has said, no, God, no, there. Like, no, still.
So what that have to do with everything making at Jamaica? Everything.
Let me only show you what really are going on, and this will take up in the calendar on the map. You have Ash Wednesday, you have Labor Day.
What is the money, man?
And it's like, say...
No, wait, Regine.
Yeah.
Where you go all over the place, man? Come back around here, some man. May I ask you the question? When you say everything created here, so what you mean?
Yeah, man, I hear so the last part of Jesus will walk and everybody till last year everyone King James and Jah. They come from Jamaica, like Jamaica. And I laugh and born, you know, Jamaica. You see?
No, Regine.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying, you know. I don't know it's way I don't know if it's true the night, you know what I mean.
No, but me I say some people come in and me I say if he come like say we say Jah come back and it's like say
Jah come back from where? Where Jah come back from?
If hang up a phone, you see.
Alright.
You know they could run off your phone, you know. You see what I say?
Yeah.
So if me never hang up my phone, a big football around my yard. So you see they never know say Jah was so wise, you know. I am a wise
the
man.
Big foot man.
Him foot swell up. I have to hang up my phone.
Him foot swell up?
Yeah, him foot ugly, you know me I say.
No, me ask if him foot swell up.
He not swell up, he's ugly.
Him have bandage on him foot?
Eh?
Him have bandage on him foot?
No, man.
Him have 1 foot? Him have 1 foot?
No, man.
Him have 3 foot?
No.
Him have 2 foot? Him have 2 foot?
2 foot him have.
Him have hand?
Yeah, man. That's money like me and you, man.
Like me and you? You don't know?
Man, like a man in a man.
So that don't mean him can have 1 foot. You know, your man have 1 foot.
No, but me I tell you, you to me attack and
Where him name?
Me I tell you one call no one name, I tell you say, I have to hang up my phone, because I never hang up my phone. All of my credit I run off. I never hang up my phone and I run down my yard.
Alright, your credit I run off right now for talking pure foolishness. Believe you.
No, me I tell you say, I believe to Jesus, they are seeing when I talk to King James, I tell you about the Bible. King James, I tell you about the...
Are you named King James? Are you named King James?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
so Ash Wednesday.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Man used to ask.
What mean name?
No, your King James.
No, where you oh, me your son.
Yeah, my son, man. I tell you, say you go, let's say it just like when you see it go good on the good, man.
What me name?
No, just drop it near me, man.
All right, so I'm gone, yes. Oh, yeah, at them time at night, you for them things, you know. No, if at them time at night, you for them things, yeah. Because you have a certain time at night when them things come out for me, you know, at the end of the day. So we don't know, all right. You know something like that over phone call. Yeah, it's you know that over phone call, you know. We're going to play the tune, we're going to play all over. I believe you,
Got no place.
I'm much yeah.
Yeah, motor.
Yeah, blessed man.
Oh, go on.
What's the name?
I tell you. I will call it last strong and tell you, say, about the people who did catch the chicken gun, yeah. Them trying to make the Zika. Mosquito them bite them. Because it's going to be terrible and dread.
Yeah, I tell you.
Because you hear them talk about this, what them say about paralysis.
Yeah, them are paralyzed.
Right. The same thing, you know. Well, terrible and dread pan the people, man, yeah.
I know, Anya in Brazil, Colombia.
The Anya, man, the same place, Anya. Americas.
Yeah, the Americas, yeah.
And I want to warn the people, them say, right now, the base where we live on, you know, the Caribbean basin where we live, it shake. It shake. Terrible and dread, because you have some quake going to Cuba, some are going to Martinique, and some other island come right back round.
Yeah.
So, boy, we have to just go and open up prayer and so I go on.
Yeah. I don't know what to do about it though. That is the thing now, can we know all of these things, but what can we do about it?
Yeah,
there's one thing for know, say this and that and this, them a do that and that and do that.
Do that, yeah.
But we are going to do about it. Alright, sir, give thanks.
Bless up,
man.
They scoff at and try to tell people who eat healthily that is wrong because they want to make money and kill us at the same time by us eating them so-called fast food, which is really poisonous material that the people putting in their bodies.
That worse than the gunman, yeah, brethren. That worse than the gunman.
Yes.
At least the gunman sneak coming at your house and you carry the poison going at your house.
True.
Yeah,
that is the reality, because diet is very, very important, and that is why Marcus Garvey, our health ministry, the Black Cross nurses, as you know, established within the UNI and ACL to deal with the health needs of our people, because if we do have a healthy people, a healthy race of Africans and things, then we stand no chance, because the first law of life, as you know, is the law of self-preservation.
Yeah.
And you can't have self-preservation if you don't take care of your health.
That's what I say.
Without good health, nothing else
is
going to come to the fore. So the first thing is that we must take care of our health. Because without health, everything else don't make sense.
Everything crash. Everything crash. Give thanks, brethren.
All right. Blessed love, Muta. Keep on doing the good work.
Yeah. All right. So, you know, say we want to give thanks, you know, give thanks to the moment, give thanks to the time and the energy. Give thanks.